Gents, I'm so sorry for the delay. Once and for all, we're here. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the GWallPro stream. I'm your host, Gabe, aka GWallPro. Let's go ahead and switch over to that main camera in 3, 2, 1, boom! Woo! Alrighty, it's about darn time. Holy cow. Couple hours late to what I originally said I was going to do the stream at, but just had a lot going on, and my earlier commitment ended up lasting a little bit longer than I had intended, but we are good. We are still planning on completing this whole thing today. So yeah, appreciate you guys coming through. For those of you that are new to GWallPro lores, I got quite a few dedicated people in my community that have, you know, for various reasons have enjoyed the channel, I guess, to a point where they've wanted to where they felt inspired to make, you know, stories out of it, lores, you know, just make, you know, just have an excuse to write and just put a GWallPro themed spin around it. And it warms my heart that you know, this random thing that I'm doing on the internet here has blossomed into this and has inspired so many of you guys. So this, I think, is the third or fourth story, like unique story that we will be reading so far. We've read a trilogy by Captain Mudkip already. He was the one that sort of kicked it off for all of us. Then we've read Ritz Games has a couple of books. I don't know if he's in the chat currently, but we've read 2 of his so far. We've had some other community projects as well. Like Jer Bear had posted a like a Smash Brothers move set. Like if I was in Smash Brothers, there's been some super worlds dedicated to me, yada, yada, yada. So a lot of good stuff. And today we will be reading a lore story written by the one and only V in the chat. So V, I appreciate the extreme patience in waiting between when you finish this project and when I was able to stream it. Just, you know, a lot's happened and I just wasn't sure about certain things, about whether it was you know, right to stream it based on its themings and stuff like that. So I appreciate the patience, but we're finally here to read it. And we got a couple people in the chat. Speaking of, we have V here, we have Lemoncello Gaming, we have Jer Bear, we have Mudkip, we have Hexstratus, we have Nitro, we have, who else? We have Very Scary, we have Chatter to Stats, we have Ray SMB. Somehow the chat before stream was turning into a Minecraft, you know, script reading, but it's fine. We have Chatter to Stats once again. We have Fire Yoshi, the GOAT moderator. What is good? Appreciate you being here. And we have, that's everybody so far. So, all right, perfect. Sounds great, y'all. I started an epic death. I don't know if I'd you know, say that, but you know, here's what it is. It's been a great ride. Whew. All right. So you guys are a little bit more on the far side of the monitor. So if I have to look a little bit more this way, it's because you guys are a little bit farther than, you know, generally close to the camera. That is where the lore itself will be. So I'm gonna have to like push over here by the time we get to the lore, and then yeah. So we'll see what happens there. The lore, I have the document here, is about 150 pages, but the spacing looks very generous. It is double spaced, and so, you know, it looks like something we can get through in a couple of hours. But you know, we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I'm excited to see what this lore has in store for us. As with all of the other lores, there are what do you call it? They have selected a video game music playlist for me to play as the backing track for each of the chapters. So we will be doing that. Have some nice little ambient music playing in the background while we read through the lore. And yeah, so that'll be that. And yeah, so that'll be the plan for today. So I hope you guys enjoy what we got cooking. If you guys are whether you're new to the lore streams or not, if you guys enjoy what you see through the story, excuse me, I know it's a little bit of I've done this a couple times now, but of course, compared to just the standard gaming streams, it's a little bit different. But if you guys enjoy just, you know, me talking while, you know, reading a story about the channel that someone has made, feel free to give the stream a like. It helps out the channel. I think we just crossed into the 19.1K region, so that's kind of hype. But yeah, so we will go from there and see what happens. So yeah, let me go ahead and not waste any time. And go into the lore. Who is ready, y'all? Who is ready? Whew. Oh, that's right. I forgot chat was up here as well. Let's go. You guys are joining for the lore sesh. All right. All right. Without further ado, I'm sure V is probably just lurking around. So we'll get started. I hope there's some JoJo references. I have no idea. I wouldn't be able to catch them. Maybe you guys will catch them, but we'll see what happens. A lot of things will probably go over my head. I'm a very oblivious person. So yeah, we'll just go with that. Whew. I like the layout. Appreciate that, Fire Yoshi. Yeah, I think I used this last time for book 3 for Mudkip. I could be wrong though, but it just kind of happened like this. So cool. All right, let's get going, y'all. I got 3 mini bottles of water here. So there's more in the back if I run out of all the water in time, but we'll see how well we fare. He is currently focused on playing Outcome Memories. He's listening in. Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't think I've ever heard of Outcome Memories, but sure. Hope it goes well. Anyways, Wall of Power, a GWallPro story, and that's what GWP stands for. GWallPro, Heads up, this story is a lot more different from the usual outings. There will be much darker themes and actions taken here than many others. The actions here do not follow what I think of the people IRL, and this is all for entertainment purposes. So if you don't feel like seeing a war drama about some goobers fighting for an object, now's your chance to click off. And then we have an OST playlist, which I have here. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one, which is Titanic Monarch Act 2 Steel Cortex from Sonic Mania. All right. Let's see. I'll have the music at this volume. Let me know if this is a solid volume for you guys. So hopefully not too loud where you guys can't hear my voice. What's up, GC78? Welcome to the stream. This is the prologue. All right, let's get started. Sparky. This is a pretty simple job. It would be hard to screw this up. Sparky jumps down onto the pavement of the road. An old building sat in front of him, swarmed by guards. Well, let's get started. Sparky quietly infiltrates the entrance. He opens the side window and knocks out the guard with a swift chop to the neck before jumping into the room himself. Sparky says these guys still aren't aware of their surroundings. Simple as always. Slowly, Sparky makes his way down the steps, making sure to avoid every guard in the room from ever noticing him. Sparky says, now, if the map is correct, the car should be... Guard 1 says, you ever wonder what they're going to do with this funny-looking gem? Guard 2 says, not really. They said it was important, though. Guard 1 says, wonder why? Not our problem, says Guard 2. We get paid just to sit here and do nothing, basically. Guard 1 says, yeah, pretty peaceful. This job is great for slacking. What's up, Luna? Appreciate you coming through. Sparky quickly knocks out the guard with a shot to the neck. The other guard pulls out his gun to shoot, but Sparky quickly pulls his arm up so his shot misses and knees him in the stomach to make him drop it. He then throws him over his shoulder to knock him out. Sparky says they should have invested in better security. This is a cakewalk. The driver got out the car. He looked around and saw no one in the current vicinity. Driver says, odd, I heard some commotion. Sparky quickly grabs his head and slams it against the car, knocking him out cold. Wow, Sparky's on some sort of spy mission. Sparky says, yikes, forgot about him. Now, if I open the trunk using this, Sparky presses a button. To open the trunk, it slowly opens, revealing some mechanical parts in a black briefcase with the ruby inside. Sparky says, huh, nice case. I guess I'll keep this for myself. Sparky, did you seriously go out on a mission by yourself? It was coming from the walkie-talkie in his coat pocket. Sparky says, yeah, calm down, Ray. The mission is a success. Now I just need to get out of here. What mission, says Ray. To get the power ruby. We weren't going to do that until early tomorrow, Sparky. Sparky says, better early than sorry. And everything is going good. It's not like I've been discovered or anything. Sparky hears a gunshot go off next to him. He turns to see a frightened guard next to the alarm. Ray says, Sparky, are you okay? Sparky says, yep. Yeah, there might be a slight complication. The guard pulls the alarm and runs to get back up. Sparky looks around for the best object to get out of there. Sparky says, right, I'm standing next to a car. Ray says, Sparky, I swear to Arceus, if you have that alarm go off. Sparky says, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter right now. Gotta drive. Ray says, Sparky, you can't just sit here and do these things by yourself. Sparky says, no need to. I got all I need right here. Sparky starts the car and closes the trunk. He starts driving out the garage and onto a ramp, which leads him outside. Sparky says, man, haven't had this thrill since we fought the battle in the solar plant. Sparky, we lost that battle, says Ray. Is Ray just always in all caps? Sparky says, but the style was there. We went down with honor. Sparky, I swear you were going to kill us all, says Ray. Well, then we shall die with style, says Sparky. I love it. Sparky leaves the area while being shot at in the car, narrowly escaping the clutches of death. All right. We got ourselves a Cars 2 opening with these spies. No, I'm kidding. I actually don't know how Cars 2 opened, but that movie was a very spy-heavy movie. But Sparky doing us, maybe he's infiltrating the Louvre in France. You know, gotta get those jewels. But either way, successful. So yeah. You'll be listening while fighting against Cam Insanity. Sounds great, Hex. Hope it is successful for you. All right. The music is louder than my voice. Okay, I'll lower it a little bit. I'll lower it a tad. I'll lower it just a little bit. Maybe that was just a relatively louder song in general, but all right. So yeah, solid start. Let's keep it rolling then. Chapter 1 is called The Day After, and its song is Northeast Frost Forest from Kirby and the... Wait, what? It said... Oh. It is Kirby, Can You Stop Forgetting the Land? Oh, okay. I didn't realize this was a spin-off, but cool. Okay. I'll turn it up a little bit. All right, let me know how that is. Someone say Cars 2. All right, here we go. Chapter 1. Yes, that was me, Mudkip. Gabe, aka me. We seem to be in the clear. Jesse, you can come out now. Jesse says, so far so good. We haven't seen any fights happening so far. Wonder if the two factions have come to a truce. Gabe says, I wouldn't be that hopeful. The Moonlight faction hasn't been very peaceful throughout the years, and the Solar faction is on the losing side. I wonder what's going on this time. Jesse says, never hurts to be hopeful, Gabe. It's probably just some pretty territorial debate. You're probably right. I wish I had your optimism, Jesse. I wish. It had been 5 years since this all started. Been traveling with my bud Jesse for a bit. Been looking for my sister during all this time, but I haven't found any trace on where she could have gone. And the 4 factions haven't helped either. None of us have wanted to commit to one anyways. What's up, Tony Means Anthony? Appreciate you coming through. Jesse says, Gabe, you're zoning out again. We need to get over there. When don't I zone out? They both run to the side of the building, hoping to remove the moss and enter for supplies. Sorry. Any luck, Jesse? Jesse says, no, the door is shut tight. Should I go get Escape? I'm sure he can break it down. Jesse says, don't bother. It's pure steel. We both know he couldn't break it. You're right. Let's find another way in. Jesse says, got a ladder? We may be able to get in through a broken window. They both go around the building until spotting a broken window. Gabe says, Jesse, lift me up. I'll go through that window and let you in through the door. Got it, says Jesse. Jesse puts his hand together and lets Gabe jump in. Gabe then climbs up and breaks the glass and grips on to enter the window. All right, I'll let you up soon. Gabe looks around for stairs to enter the bottom floor. Something else catches his eye, though. A box of chips! Wow. All right. Well, it's something. Hey, maybe I was starving at the time. I don't know. I guess it depends on the type of chip. Gabe picks up the box and locates the stairs. He goes down and unlocks the door, seeing Jesse standing there. He says, hurry in, Jesse. We might find more things. Gabe shows Jesse the chips he found. It had been a while since they found anything in these old buildings. So long that Jesse could see the sigh of relief on Gabe's face. Jesse says, chips! And a lot of them, too. Maybe we should keep these safe first and return later. Don't want to get too greedy now, do we? We'll be fine, Jesse. Don't be such a worrywart. Jesse sighed and entered the building. They both went up to the 3rd floor and started searching. Found some ramen right here. Any luck over there? We're just finding food, all kinds of food. Jesse says, a bit. Some old expired juices and other things. Could be better. Well, that seems to be all of it. Should we leave? Yeah, let's do so, says Jesse. They pick up their finds and walk back down the stairs. Looking around, they walk back to their base, an old, mainly preserved apartment in the west side of town. The area was located closer to the nature faction, an area that hadn't been in many conflicts and had a small group of people who didn't want to engage with any factions living there. Phew, that was a workout. Jesse says, I know, right? We went far this time. You don't even look like you're sweating, Jesse. I am, just internally. What's up, Mario Master 101? Hope all is well. You're just saying that to make me feel better about my physical shape, aren't you? This is usually how it goes. Jesse says, maybe. Does that really matter, though? Hey, you two, about time you got back. Simon went out on a walk, so he isn't here for now. That's good. You look full of energy, Escape. Oh, Escape's here. All right. He says, maybe you should go on one yourself. Escape says, I'm good. Too busy doing nothing. What did you get? Jesse says, just some ramen and stuff. How's the job applications going for you at the juice bar? That's hilarious. Escape says, I don't think I'm getting it. Even with a ton of the road missing, it's still impossible to find jobs. Not faring much better either. Simon stepped out of the doorway and walked over to the group chatting outside. Oh, hey, Simon. Simon says, that's all I get. Cold, guys, cold. Ha, tell me about it, says Escape. We tried. Can't blame us for not going deeper into conversation. Jesse says, anyone going to help me bring these upstairs? Escape says, oh, right. I got you, Jesse. Escape helps Jesse bring up the food they found while Gabe and Simon stay outside. So you said you still don't have any responses. Simon says, no, the only thing was from the Moonlight faction as a guard. I'm not too much of a fighter, though, so I don't know why they keep sending me this. Gabe says, not that I'd want to be on that side anyway. That group has been vicious recently since they changed leaders. True, says Simon. I just wish they would stop sending me this form. It's been non-stop since that blood test 5 years ago. Jesse says, you guys, it's getting late. Let's get inside before some more violent muggers start coming here. Probably a good idea. Come on, Simon. Simon Belmont. It probably should be. We'll see. Escape says, also, I set up a generator for an hour. We've connected the Wii and booted up Wii Sports Resort Bowling. Oh my lord, that's hilarious. Escape is actually a tennis fan. He loves Wii Sports Tennis. He can cook in Wii Sports Tennis, but bowling, I might stand a little bit of a chance. Simon says, hell yeah, I can beat Gabe again. Not if I beat you first. The two rushed upstairs to get to the Wii. The group played multiple rounds of Wii Sports Bowling until it got late. Gabe, feeling tired, put down the remote and got up. Well, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed now. Jesse says, good night, Gabe. Gabe says, good night, Jesse. Gabe swapped into his pajamas, brushed his teeth, and collapsed into bed. That's how it usually goes, yep. Gabe slowly nodded off as his eyes became heavier and heavier. And boom, that's the chapter. All right, not bad. A little bit of an introductory chapter. We got a couple of people, that we've introduced the characters to. So, I've shown up, which is great. So, we'll see what excursions we go on for the remainder of the, for this next part. I mean, we're still pretty knee deep in Act 1, I would imagine. So we'll see how, we'll see what goes on from here. But so far, pretty good. Chapter 1 gourmet race. Yeah, right. Okay. So far, so good. So far, so good. I like the I like this. I like the pacing so far. I'm not sure. I assume probably as we get more to the climactic chapters in the story, it'll probably get, it'll probably get to some longer pages that require heavier descriptions. But for now, things are looking pretty smooth. All right, but this is chapter 2, aka Out of Sight, and the song is Persona 3 Aria of the Soul. So let's get that one loaded up. I'll leave the volume like this for now, yeah. All right, here we go. Chapter 2. Oh, I feel sore. Gabe opens his eyes, holding onto his leg in a bit of pain. Oh, it's like me right now. My leg's in a bit of pain, but it's okay. Must be morning cramps. I should get ready anyways. Gabe got up, picked out some clothes, got dressed, and brushed his teeth. He exited the room to check on the others. The room was messy, almost like there had been a war inside the living room. The broken window and a flipped over couch. Oh gosh, maybe Wii Sports Resort got a little heated. What happened here? Escape? Normally he's the cause, but I don't see anyone here. Gabe looked around and checked the cabinets for some food, made some ramen, and flipped back the couch to eat it. Oh, okay. Well, it may be a mess, but the food is still good. Gabe finished his ramen and headed outside. This feels off. Did everyone go on a walk? Did something happen last night? Gabe looked up at the apartment and looked at the broken window from outside. Man, repairing that window is going to be a pain. How did it manage to break in the first place? Gabe quickly gets up and starts walking around. Gabe, you finally woke up. Excuse me. Gabe turned around and saw Jesse in a very distressed form, sweating as much as he was breathing. Jesse, what happened? Why is our front window broken? There was a break-in and... Whoa. What do you mean a break-in? Nothing's been stolen. Jesse says there's a difference between a break-in and thievery, Gabe. Maybe if you didn't zone out while I was talking to you. Don't remember the last time this came up in conversation, though. Says Jesse. Can't argue with that, but you interrupted me. What I was trying to say is Escape and Simon are missing. I have no conceivable way to track them. I've been looking around the area, but there's been no case. Gabe says, maybe Escape and Simon got an application? No, me, Simon, Escape stayed up till like 11 o'clock. I ended up going to bed and found it on that messed up state with a letter, says Jesse. So you fell asleep. How do you know it was a break-in then? Jesse says, because I heard our window broken into. I woke up due to the loud noise and saw Escape struggle a bit before being knocked out. I got up to try to confront the man, but I was thrown into the couch. Before I could get back up, he hit me in the sweet spot of my neck, incapacitating me. Gabe says, I slept through all that? You're a heavy sleeper. I might be. Maybe. I don't know. I got some... Sometimes I'm a very heavy sleeper. Other times I'm a very light sleeper. It just really depends, I guess, in which stage of sleep I'm in. Anyways. Jesse says, you're a heavy sleeper, but that's not the point. Last thing I remember is having this envelope dropped on me and hearing the person say something about a job being finished. Jesse pulls up the envelope he's been carrying around out of his pocket to show Gabe. Jesse says, I was looking for Escape to show this to him, but it seems like he's vanished on us. Is there a possibility that he's already seen it? Maybe, says Jesse, but that requires us to answer what's in it. Right, let's read it. I'll give you the honor, says Jesse. Gabe breaks open the letter and starts reading it out loud. Dear Jesse, we expect some struggle to get this letter to you and your group, but we expect it to be worthwhile in the end. We have had our eyes on your group for a while, but have noticed your insistence to stay solo. So we've decided to sweeten our pot and stake a little. We have your ally and close friend Simon, and all you need to do to get him returned is to bring us the ruby that was taken from us at the Solar Faction's base that they dub the Flame Bunker. You have a week deadline before we indoctrinate your friend, unwillingly, we'll say. Bide your time wisely. The Moonlight Faction's Apollo. Oh boy. Well, all of this effort for us to be thrown into the conflict. Jesse says, considering this was labeled to only me, I wonder if Escape got his own. If that's the case, he might have gone in there himself in order to escape. He didn't do it subtly. Right, that's a problem, says Jesse. Right now, we just have to hope he's okay. Or we just go check on him ourselves. Not like we have much choice. Let's go see how hot this bunker is. Jesse says, a week isn't much time, so let's hope we aren't using too much time on a wild goose chase. For all we know, he could already have the ruby, so let's scout it out and see if we can get some information until midnight. Hopefully, it isn't too late by then. Jesse says, it's Jared. He's going to be fine. We don't call him Escape for nothing. If he gets into trouble, he'll find his way out of it. You're right. I just hope he's fine. Jesse says, it's Escape. He's either got the ruby or is in a cell. No in between. Gabe and Jesse run off the coordinates of the flame bunker with Escape on their mind. Somewhere in New Fortress. So you're Jared, as I can deduce labeled in this letter. Why should I talk to you, said Escape. The spiky-haired person sat down in front of the shackled Escape, looking him directly in the eyes. I know my subordinate's a bit eccentric, but he means well. Unfortunately, I can't do anything if you aren't willing to speak to me. Escape says, I'm not 9. I understand the concept of talking, but why should I talk to the people who've punched me in the face? Escape then heard some noise on the other side of the one-bay window. If you don't want to be punched in the face, don't run into our base trying to steal our ruby. Escape says, then maybe don't leave your base wide open. Oh my gosh, can you two shut up? Gosh, I can't even do my job at this rate. Escape says, there's no point in doing this anyways. I ain't talking. For someone who says they aren't 9, you sure are acting like it. Nuh-uh, says Escape. The hell do you mean, nuh-uh? God, I liked it better when they just stayed quiet. It's going to be a long night. How's the voice acting? I haven't had to do too much. I mean, you know, haven't done a ton of voice acting writs, but so far things are going pretty well. Everyone's got, you know, pretty similar voices at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, so far the reading's going pretty solidly. All right. And that was chapter 2. So a little bit of a conundrum here. Yeah. So apparently I slept through an entire break-in. You know, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll just see what happens. All right. Apollo, huh? Apollo. Interesting. We'll see where this leads us. But so far, it's looking good. Chapter 3, Not So Phantom Thieves. 150 hours remain out of the 168 hours that there are in a week. All right. And this one is going to be Persona 4 Arena Ultimax Margaret's theme. All right. V is a heavy Persona fan, so I'm expecting a lot of Persona, and I'm expecting a lot of Sonic in this soundtrack. But both franchises have pretty good music, so I can't complain. All right, anyways, here we go. Chapter 3. Not So Phantom Thieves. All right. Wow, they really were not lying about this being a bunker. That's just a metal door leading in. Jesse says, yeah, just missing the flames. And the fact that it's 12 a.m. and the moon's out, well, there could be flames inside, but how should we even get in there without being seen? It's a bunker with one entrance underground. Jesse says, well, it's midnight. Security has to be a bit lighter. Gabe says, with the downside that we're also tired. Jesse says, I'm raring to go. We get to really flex our skills we have been building up for 5 years. If only I had your enthusiasm, Jesse. So we can both agree that there's something guarding the door. Jesse says, yeah, but I have an idea. Jesse grabs a metal pipe from the construction around the area. Whoa, whoa, whoa! This is going to be way too loud. Please, I'm not going to do that, says Jesse. Jesse quickly swings open the door and spots the guards. Wait, who are you? Jesse quickly swings the metal pipe at the guard, knocking him out and having him tumble down the stairs. Well, I guess I could have been louder. Odds are someone heard that, so we gotta go quick. Right. Oh, crap, says Jesse. Jesse accidentally drops the metal pipe down the stairs, making a ruckus. Really? Out of all the mistakes to make, that one? Jesse says, let's just go. Yeah, I agree. Gabe and Jesse run down the stairs to find a closet to hide in while people rush over. Well, this is cramped. Jesse says, just hold over for 2 minutes. They should pass back soon. Guard says, what? Did a metal pipe just fall on him? Other guard says, he would have to open the door, so surely someone opened it, hit him over the head, and dropped the pipe as distraction. Guard says, that's ridiculous. Probably just fell when he checked outside. Anyways, how's the wife, Jim? Other guard says, most likely dead, like the other 90%, Bill. Guard says, oh, right. Anyways, I don't get paid enough for this. If there's someone here, I don't care to find out. Other guard says, Bill, we just can't call a medic and leave it there. We should be investigating. Guard says, ooh, ice cream. Other guard says, oh, hell yeah. Gabe and Jesse hear footsteps run off. Wow, those were the worst guards I've ever heard. Jesse says, okay, let's please get out of this closet. I agree. Gabe and Jesse open the door and exit the cramped closet, look sound, and start heading through the hall. They are going to call for a medic, right? Jesse says, I presume so. I swear, he's going to drive me insane. Oop, Gabe, hide, says Jesse. Gabe and Jesse quickly cling to a wall and listen in. You can punch him, and I don't think he can gain the proper speech abilities. Sparky, you have already punched him twice in the face. He's probably not giving you answers because he dazed him. Sparky says, like you were getting any better results, Mr. Nice Guy. Violence isn't always the answer. Plus, it's probably you, because you have been threatening him, his family, his pets, his plants, his faction, his shoes, his intelligence, I get it, says Sparky. I'm the big, scary bad guy ruining your plans. We'll just have to find out why Simon is when he, or who Simon is when he regains consciousness. Sparky, you knocked him out? Sparky, look, I forgot to pull a punch and I swung too hard. I have a medic there helping him in his cell. Obviously, he's doing it for a certain reason. He's just way too stubborn to give it to us. Sparky says, so all we have to do is beat it out of him? No, Sparky, violence is getting us nowhere. Let's just focus on confronting him, or comforting him. Though that's going to be tough considering you just knocked him out. They definitely are talking about escape. Why the heck is he here? Shh, says Jesse. Sparky, are you listening to me? Sparky says, yeah, I just thought I heard something. Look, we're probably just tired, making irrational decisions because of it. Let's just go and think about this overnight. Right, the longer he stays, the more his will shall weaken, says Sparky. Sparky, is this the only thing you think about? Sparky says, with everything going on, it's the only thing I can think about. Well, if you keep this up, Ray is going to take you out of a job. Sparky says, I'll get the information out of him before they can even consider it. We'll find him first. Sparky glimpses at the door slightly. He says, did you hear something? No, don't try to change the conversation. I am not falling for that again. Oh, shut up, that was one time, says Sparky. The two continue to argue into the hallway while Gabe and Jesse silently slip away to another room. Jesse says it seems like those two can't stand each other. Yeah, I'm sure they will come around. Hopefully not until we get that ruby and escape, though. Jesse says, yeah, let's just get moving. From the map on the wall, we seem to be 2 rooms away from the holding cell. What's the plan when we get there, though? Oh, is that a crowbar? I have none, says Jesse. Grab the crowbar and we shall wing it. Mr. Tactician doesn't have a plan. Jesse says, as long as there's no guard or we knock him out before he notices us, we should be fine. Suddenly, they hear the door open. Guard says, eat all that ice. Wait, who are you guys? Ah! Gabe quickly hits him in the gut with the crowbar, incapacitating him. Like that? Wow, that was all it took, says Jesse? They really put anyone in security. Gabe says, can't blame them. With 90% of the road gone overnight, good help has been hard to find. Jesse says, you think there's more people left and we just don't know it? We haven't left New Fortress in years. Yeah, I refuse to call it anything but New York. Each their own, says Jesse. Are we just going to sit here and talk by the unconscious guy, or... Oh, right. They both rush over to the holding cell and look inside the door's window. Okay, one guard in there. All we have to do is, says Jesse. Gabe opens the door. Hey. Guard says, hey, wait, do I know you? Gabe says, no. Gabe swiftly swings the crowbar at the guard's head, instantly knocking him out against the wall. Or you can just walk right in, says Jesse. Jesse face palms while Gabe runs and looks in the holding cells. Gabe, says Escape. Thank goodness you are right, Escape. Yeah, all right. Escape? It's nothing. Did you come to free me? Yes, but they still have Simon. They want us to obtain this ruby for them? You don't happen to know where that is, do you? Escape says, not entirely. I heard the gray-haired guy talk about it a bit, but it's a little fuzzy. Okay, let's just get you out of here for now, says Gabe. Gabe quickly unlocks the cell door, letting Escape out. Finally, it's been too long, says Escape. Escape, it hasn't even been 24 hours. I haven't seen the sky in hours. What time is it? About 12:24 a.m. I suddenly have the urge to sleep. I don't blame you. I'm getting a headache more than that guy will get when he gains consciousness. Escape says he will regain consciousness, right? Probably. What are you two waiting for? Let's get out of here, says Jesse. On it. Both of them rush to Jesse where they quickly discuss a plan. Escape doesn't know much about the ruby, so we'll just have to search for it. Jesse says, or we can just use the picture I took of the map in the other room. Huh, sometimes it pays to have common sense. Yes it does, says Jesse. Okay, so we just waltz in there? No, it's very simple. We take the vents, says Jesse. The small little air vents? How are we supposed to fit in those things? You'll figure it out. I'll figure it out? Yeah, someone has to stick with Escape. He's clearly dazed, right, says Jesse? Yeah, not feeling all too good. Fine, but you owe me. Jesse says, we'll be in the broom closet near the entrance. Good luck. Yeah, now to walk for 5 minutes. Gabe eventually arrives at his location using the crowbar to pry open the vent. Can't believe I'm doing this. Gabe bends down to enter the vent, slowly crawling his way through the cramped corridors until he arrives in the room with the ruby. Huh, I kind of expected something high-tech, but this is just a storage room. Gabe looks around. There's storage shelves reaching to the ceiling and boxes fill the dusty room. His instincts tell him that if the ruby is in here, it's going to be in a less dusty area. Gabe coughs from the dust, but starts walking around anyway. You know, Jesse could have just told me this was a storage room before sending me here. Gabe stumbles upon a particularly well-guarded box with a clean black exterior and 2 locks on it. Around it was a glass case and a key lock. The only thing like this here must be the ruby. Gabe pulls out the keys he took from the guard from earlier. Luckily, one of them seems to be a match for the glass case. Huh, that was shockingly easy. Gabe looks around to make sure everything is secure around him. Nothing other than shelves and boxes surround him. Huh, so no surprise fight, no one spying. This went so much better than I was expecting. Gabe swiftly but quietly goes back to the vent with the box, sealing the door behind it. Now just to get out. Gabe exits the vent and quickly seals it back up. He quickly but quietly starts rushing to the entrance of the place. Almost there. Unfortunately, Gabe suddenly hears a voice yell at him from behind. I knew I wasn't going crazy. There was someone else there. And who do I see? Just some rat stealing my ruby I worked so hard for. Gabe quickly turns around. He knows who's yelling at him, but it doesn't make it much better. Rat? You couldn't come up with anything better than that? The man was wearing a pitch black trench coat with a heavy blue button up under it. His face had sunglasses on and gray hair, almost like he was trying to be a secret agent wannabe. What he was holding it in his hand pointed at Gabe was his bigger concern. Please, says Sparky, I am too tired to come up with a clever name for you. Drop the ruby. And that is where chapter 3 ends. A little bit of a confrontation going on, it looks like, between me and Sparky. Oh boy, this is going to be brutal. See what happens. Gotta have some water breaks. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the lore so far. We're about 3 chapters in. So far, pretty solid. I'm a Rocky Wrench fan. Rocky Wrench is my favorite, but he is a cool character. I do like Rocky Wrench. But I'm not going to be like begging for Rocky Wrench to be in every game. So, all right, that's one water bottle down. Let's see how many we put down through this lore. Okay, chapter 4 is called a full force exit. This one. Ooh, Rivals of Ether OST. What animal's Rocky Wrench supposed to be? I don't know. I don't know. We're flying through this. I mean, you know, we're doing what we can. I mean, you know, I feel like the chapters speak for themselves. I think they're pretty solid. I've been enjoying my time with it, but also I think just the pacing is pretty good in terms of like, you know, the text size being larger and like the double spacing. So I'm able to, you know, get through the pages. It probably seems like compared to the other lores that have been going faster, just because I think there's just less text per page. I believe, but I could be wrong. I could also be wrong. But hey, either way, whether I go through it fast or go through it slow, so far pretty good. We're staying hydrated. We gotta. You know, obviously there's some streams where I, you know, definitely need to be more hydrated, but in a stream where I'm going to be talking like this nonstop and reading and focusing like that, even though I do talk nonstop in most of my other streams, I mean, there's some moments like, you know, when I'm gaming, I'm focused, I'm locked in. And so I'm not talking all the time, but yeah, you know, when it comes to this, I mean, we're basically reading a whole book in one sitting. So I gotta, and I'm reading it out loud. So I gotta, you know, I always gotta have the water on standby. But anyways, all right, chapter 4 is called A Full Force Exit. 149 hours remain. And, so literally only 1 hour went by between chapter 3. Okay, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. This one is Lightning Pandemonium Tempest Peak from Rivals of Ether. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard this before. Kind of a vibe. All right, here we go, y'all. Sparky says, drop it, glasses. Gabe, currently held at gunpoint, obliges and drops the ruby. Glasses? Indoors? When it's dark? At least mine are on my head. How do you even see? Sparky says, my body is purely being run on coffee. I don't need sight to do more work. Cool, but I kind of need to save my cousin, so sorry about this. Gabe swiftly swings the crowbar he's been holding at Sparky's gun as soon as he's in range and kicks the ruby behind him. Damn it, why is everyone like this to Sparky? Sparky swiftly jumps back and grabs his dagger. If we're going to tango, at least do it right. Sparky swings his dagger narrowly, avoiding Gabe as he slightly steps back and nearly trips on the ruby. It's never that simple, huh? Then come and get me. Gabe kicks the ruby towards the janitor's closet as a sign to take it and run. He then, with all his strength, tries to use the crowbar as a baseball bat and swings it at Sparky's arm, who stops it with ease. Sparky says, is that really all you got? Sparky kicks Gabe with a small amount of force in the stomach, then uppercuts him with his free hand, knocking him back into the floor. The lights around the hall start to turn on, all having a dark orange color. Sparky slowly growls as he gets up and readies his weapon. Sparky says, I'll give you one chance. Come in quietly and I'll put you in the cell with the other rash thief. Oh, dang, he doesn't know about us springing escape. That doesn't matter now, though. Right now, all I can do is keep fighting. I can't give in. Not from you. Not from the Moonlight faction. I'm going to save Simon, and there's no way to stop me. Gabe rushes up to his feet and punches the off-guard Sparky with all of his force in the stomach, making him stutter backwards in pain. Sparky says, "You son of a..." Gabe says, "Now!" With the signal, Escape and Jesse quickly rush out and grab the ruby, leaving the premises. "You weren't even the main thief. You're the distractions, Sparky. Wasn't the original plan, but if I have to play the distraction card, I will. For them, for my family." "Noble," says Sparky, "but I don't sympathize with Moonlight faction members. I have no allegiance to the Moonlight, and I never will." "Your ruby snatching says otherwise," says Sparky. "I'm getting out of here alive with my own motives. If I have to, I'll fight anyone I need to. I'll give you this. You're no rat," says Sparky, "but you will be caught in the trap all the same." Sparky dashes towards Gabe, pulling out his dagger. Gabe opens the door to block it, and Sparky's arm gets stuck in the hole of the door that he stabbed through. "You think this will stop me?" Sparky rips the door off its hinges and frees his hand by using the arm to break the piece of the door containing him. "How the..." Sparky throws the door at Gabe, where he barely ducks under it, grazing his hair. Gabe quickly tries to back up, but the time he spends dodging allows Sparky to gain distance, and he jumps at Gabe with the dagger like a wolf pouncing on his prey. Gabe kicks him back as the dagger slightly cuts his leg. Gabe suddenly realizes how bad of an idea this was. "Darn it, I'm getting cornered." "Don't worry, this will be quick," says Sparky. Sparky continues his barrage of slashes, while Gabe slowly backs up, realizing that he's going to be dead soon if he doesn't switch it up. Gabe comes up with an idea. As I said, Gabe picks up the folded chair behind him and swings it directly at Sparky. He blocks and backs up. "I'm not going out without a fight." Sparky picks up the crowbar that Gabe used earlier and throws at him. Gabe uses the chair to block it, but it punctures a hole into it with huge force of throw. Holy crap. Gabe throws the chair at Sparky, but he grabs it and rips it in half. Gabe picks up the crowbar, ready for anything. Sparky says, "You know, they're already starting the hunt for the other two. There's nowhere really left to run anymore. All I can do is offer you one more time. Give up. One thing you will have to learn about me is that I don't quit." "I admire it," says Sparky, "but adrenaline is going to get you nowhere. Goodbye, glasses." The commotion has gotten other guards and supporters up, leaving the dorm rooms where they all are pointing their guns behind Gabe. Well, this is it. A do or die moment. Hope you guys can get Simon out of there, Jesse. Gabe readies the crowbar for what he knows will be the last time. Still going? Well, then I give you all permission to open fire. Gabe quickly slides down as the first bullet rings out, quickly stepping near Sparky as he uses the chair to swing near Gabe. Gabe catches it with his hand and throws him backwards. I've spent so much time making sure I have no weaknesses," says Sparky. "I will not falter to some man who hasn't fought a day in his life." Gabe blocks some bullets with half the chair he took from Sparky and throws it at the guards behind him. "Whether I die here or not, I'm not giving up." Sparky says, "You try to fight in vain. Your plans will fall apart. Dismantle the Moonlight faction all you want. My goal will and always will be rescuing Simon." Sparky says, "Hold your fire. I want this satisfaction of this myself. Then prove it with your actions." Sparky pulls back out the dagger, more angry than ever. Sparky says, "The kid's gloves are off, rookie. I, Sparky Manguis of the Solar faction," I'm sure I messed that up, "will bring you to justice." "Bring it, mangoes." "It's Mangues," says Sparky. "Who cares? I'll just take it as another reason to explain to Ray why there is a dead body in his base." Sparky charges in and Gabe braces his crowbar, looking at his movements. Gabe blocks Sparky's slashes to kick his leg. "Blocking isn't enough," says Sparky. Sparky swings his dagger at his foot and Gabe jumps away. He then delivers a much stronger kick, sending Sparky away from him. "You keep on going," says Sparky. "I don't know if it's on stupidity or sheer will." Sparky stands up on his feet, staggering from pain. Sparky says, "Is it standing by the answers? Does it ease the pain? Or do I need to finish this for you to be satisfied? Either way, when there's a beginning, there's an ending too. So show us where we are at." Sparky roars in determination, staring down Gabe directly. It would be enough to put the fear of God in any man, but the only thing you can think of is to keep pushing through. Bring it. Sparky starts moving faster than he's ever done fighting Gabe. The fatigue of the fight seems to have not gotten to him. Gabe struggles to continue blocking the attacks as they keep getting stronger and faster until inevitably the crowbar snaps in half. "Ah, no!" Sparky says, "You are finished." Sparky goes in for the finishing blow, but Gabe throws one half the crowbar at his head, stunning him for a second. Gabe uses the opportunity to run to the exit. "Get back here! Guards, Fire, says Sparky. The guard's still standing. Open fire. Gabe narrowly avoids getting hit and grabs the metal pipe near the stairs and runs up them. Give chase and get a medic while you're at it, too. Don't let him get away, says Sparky. Gabe continues running and running and running as fast as his injured leg will let him. Trying to get far away enough to hide, he just has to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That must have been a little pain to change the font size for all those. He stumbles up on an apartment with an open door. It has a green letter attached to the door. Gabe instantly stops and runs in and shuts the door. Oh, okay. Is this supposed to be a new chapter? Oh, no, chapter 5. Okay. But we have a song switch in the middle of the chapter. And, oh, we got an Ori track from... Okay. Naru Embracing the Light from Ori in the Blind Forest. All right. So we're still in chapter 4. Okay. There he finds the two familiar faces he expected to see. Jesse? Tyler? Oh, thank goodness you're still alive, says Jesse. Do you have the ruby? Wait, I assume he meant Jesse and Escape. It's Escape that's here. Okay. Jesse, Escape? Oh, thank goodness you're still alive. Do you have the ruby? Escape says, yeah, but we can't break these locks. Wow. Jesse says, well, we just have to deliver it. Doesn't matter if it's unlocked or not. Gabe says, I guess that's true. Is there a bed here? Yeah, one on the second floor, says Escape. Thank you. I'm so beat. Gabe walks up the stairs and spots the bed. He tells Jesse to keep checking for the solar faction while they are prowling. Oh, anything to cover the wound? Gabe spots a small plant in the corner. He uses its leaves to wrap around his open wound. Should do for now. Gabe sighs and looks at the covered wound. Gabe says, we'll get back to Simon soon. Or we'll get you back, Simon, soon. Gabe closes his eyes for the night and get ready for sleep. All right, so we didn't get to listen to much of that Ori song, but that's okay. That is A-okay. This book does that. Okay, so there's going to be multiple chapters with varying song switches. Understandable. Understandable. Whew. You thought I got what? Did you, like, at the last minute decide to replace T-Main or Tyler with Escape? I mean, either way, it's cool. It's all good. Sonic ROST coming up. Yeah, you guys see it? For chapter 5. Oh, let me scroll up, I guess, a little bit. There we go. All right. Used for... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. I get it. It happens. All right. So chapter 5 is called Work It Out. There's 141 hours left to go. So... fully a full day has gone by so far, so we are, just shy over 24 hours or 27 hours into the week. And so yeah, we'll see what happens. It's called Work It Out. Speaking of, the song is also called Work It Out by Sonic R. Have yet to play Sonic R, but I've heard good things about it. Let's get going. All right. Gabe walks up in the dusty room he fell asleep in. He checks the wound that was dealt by Sparky, which hasn't seemed to have gotten better. He sniffles through the dust and gets up. Oh, Jesse, we still have the ruby, right? Jesse mumbles something downstairs and then responds. Yeah, this box is tough to break into though, says Jesse. Gabe slowly steps downstairs, trying not to let the pain in his leg affect him with the adrenaline worn off. Escape says, leg still in pain? Yeah, it will recover at some point, I'm sure. Gabe deep down had thoughts that it might not though, but he decided to keep those to himself for now. Enjoy the lyrics. Yeah, it's very, very low for me, so luckily I can't really hear the lyrics that much, but hopefully it's not unbearable for you guys. We'll cover at some point for sure. Gabe deep down had thoughts that it might not though, but he decided to keep those to himself for now. Jesse says, anyways, this lock is nearly unpickable. Some sort of mechanism blocks it due to it using fingerprints. And it's strong. Won't break no matter what, says Escape. Well, it's a 4-hour walk to a Moonlight faction base, isn't it? We shouldn't have to unlock it ourselves. It's a long walk, but we do have plenty of time on the deadline. Are you sure? Your leg is pretty damaged, says Jesse. If it means saving Simon, I'm willing to do anything. Gabe looks at Escape, who was muttering about something with a scowl on his face. Are you okay, Escape? This catches Escape by surprise as he quickly lifts up his head and quickly removes the anger seething through his face. Yeah, it's nothing. I'm raring to go. I think it's a Banjo-Kazooie type of little reference there. I think, like, when they got revealed in Smash, right? Can they say Banjo-Kazooie or raring? Okay, anyways. Gabe looks at him with a worried face, which Escape picks up on and laughs. What are you looking at me like that for? It's nothing, I swear. Did you recover fully? You had a couple of bruises from last night. Escape's face slightly twitches, but still keeps the joy smile that Gabe is used to. Nothing major, says Escape. Not enough to put me down, at least. Okay, well, just don't push yourself, says Jesse. Please, pushing through my problems is my whole thing, says Escape. Might want to work on that. Either way, says Jesse, we should leave in 2 hours. Solar has been pretty restless, and only a matter of time until they find this location. Jesse opens the door and lets everyone out after looking around, signals where to go using the map of the town he had from the envelope. A couple of hours later, the three made a stop at a small smoothie stand. Oh, I love a smoothie. Perfect. I could use one right now. Man, I know walking for 4 hours is tough, but I didn't realize it took this much energy. That's why we stopped, says Jesse. Anyone want anything? I still have a slight bit of money left over. What do they got? Vendor says, we have strawberry, coconut, mango, and chocolate smoothies. I mean, too bad they don't got strawberry banana. That's pretty good smoothie, but just a standard strawberry smoothie is good enough. I'll take a strawberry smoothie. Escape says chocolate. Jesse says, okay, I'll take 1 strawberry and 2 chocolate. That will be $7, man. In this economy, that's elite. Unfortunately, that's not really the case anymore, but, you know, it's like 1 smoothie is now $7, but, oh, man, for 4? That'd be crazy. Anyways, Jesse paid the vendor, and the 3 sat down on the nearby table bench. Man, this heat is killing me. Thank goodness that strawberry smoothie will be ready soon. Yeah, I didn't realize it would be hot this week. Couldn't have been a nice, cloudy day, honestly, Jesse. When Jesse says it's hot, you know it is. Your smoothies are ready, good sirs. Oh, thank God, says Escape. The 3 pick up their smoothies and sit back down. This strawberry smoothie is great. How's the mediocre chocolate? Jesse says, I don't know what you're talking about. This thing is great. The only thing that's missing is a good burger, says Escape. Oh, there's others here today. When I came yesterday, it was just me. Gabe looked around and spotted a man with a brownish red jacket and orange undershirt. He looked skinny but had a pretty large sledgehammer in his hands. He presumed he must have been one of the construction workers from the restoration project he heard about a while back, though the stand-up brown hair gave him a slight worry that he wasn't one of them. Yeah, no problem. Have a seat. Thank you. It's been a long couple of days. The man put the hammer to the side and sat down, giving a sigh of relief. Almost like we got 4 here. You know, man's got the whole hammer. You guys don't seem to be from this area. It's mainly where the nature faction sits. Come for some smoothies? Jesse says, yeah, yes, you could say that. We're also just here to visit a family member. Gabe looked at Escape and Jesse. While Jesse looked fine, Escape looked petrified. Gabe didn't know why, but he started getting a bad feeling about this. Oh, that makes sense. I live about 2 hours away. So honestly, coming here for my lunch is so much better than sitting back east. The nature faction really knows how to grow things well, and my friend Cap Bender says, Mr. Fiai, your food is ready. Am I saying that right? Fiai? Maybe it's just Fi? I don't know. Thanks, Theo, says Fiai. Theo says, no problem. Always great to have an established captain come to visit this small shack. Say hi to General Ray for me. Will do. Thanks for the great smoothie, says Fiai. Gabe finally picked up on what's going on as his eyes widened. Great man. I don't get to talk with him as much as I could. Anyway, can we talk? Yo, it's Fire Yoshi. Let's freaking go. Fire Yoshi made it to the lore. If it's about the ruby, I have no want or need to give it to you. Thought so, says Fiai. Well, I'll let you know I have no intention of chasing you down until I finish my burger and mango smoothie. Not like you could run very far with 2 injured team members anyway. Okay, what's the deal, Mr. Fiai, says Jesse. Yes, it's simple. As I said, I just want to talk. So you aren't going to hit us with the big sledgehammer next to you? If we're not fighting, I have no want or need to hit you with it. It's a pretty lethal weapon anyways. Wouldn't want to make a mess around poor Theo's shop. Sure wasn't like that in the bunker, was it? The guy says, I figured you were the glasses guy Sparky was talking about. Pretty tough job to get close, even get close to beating Sparky. A ton of respect for that. But no, mine and his styles are a bit different. What do you mean by that? PI says, I focus more on reasoning and strategy, while Sparky's tactics are a bit more upfront, says Jesse. Barbaric. Clinically insane, says Escape. I was going to say combat focused, but I could see those used in that format. So you're just here to tell us to give you the ruby? Yeah, pretty much. Escape says, and why would we do that? Fi says, because that ruby has the power to power this entire city for almost 50 years. 50 years from this small rock, says Jesse. Yes, that's the goal, says Fi. We haven't figured it out yet, how to harness that energy, but that gem has quite a punch. Oh. FYI, I guess for having a lot of like for your information. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess I can see the resemblance. Yeah, I can see that. That's kind of cool. This kid says, and how do I know you aren't lying just to gain our trust? Fi says, still being stubborn. Fi slapped 3 files onto the table, and each member grabbed on to read. Here we go. Documents. This one's about a solar plant exploding due to Moonlight faction attacks. Jesse says, this one's about the discovery of the ruby and the planned project that the solar faction was going to do. Escape says, this one's about the Moonlight faction's disappearance of its leader. Fi says, do you really want to give a ruby containing that much power to them? As long as they have Simon, we don't have much of a choice. Fi says, what if I told you we had a chance to save him without giving them the ruby? Gabe looked a little baffled, but told Fi to continue. Fi says, look, tomorrow we plan to raid a base secretly to gain intel on the Moonlight faction. Knowing this, we can make a raid on the main base if everything goes well. We can use this knowledge to get his location and get Simon out before they even know what hit them. Not a bad plan, says Jesse, but we only have around 130-ish hours left. We only need 100, says Fi. Escape says, how do we know this isn't a bad move? What if the operation fails? For our sake, we hope it doesn't, says Fi. Gabe puts himself in a moment of doubt. Considering the options, it's between his cousin and the city itself. He could guarantee his cousin to return, but it feels like an immoral thing to do. Would he really live with himself knowing that something with that much power went into their hands? What about if the faction betrayed him at the last moment? Fi says, have you come to a decision? I think I have. I think I have as well, said Jesse. Escape stayed silent. Good. Why us? What do you mean, Fi? Why out of everyone would you pick us? Fi says, well, your will, really. I don't have much more of a reason than you're here. All right, I think I have an answer. I've come to the same conclusion, says Jesse. Escape face dims. Gabe understands why, but they both know why he made the decision. The eye watches as Escape nods his head. Phew, I was worried there were going to be a bit more contention. Glad to see you're all on board. On one condition, says Jesse. Oh? Can you get us food? We're starving, says Jesse. Jesse laughs nervously with this remark, and Fi laughs as well. Yeah, no problem. Theo, burgers for 3. Theo says, on it, sir. The 4 talk as they wait, unaware of the looming threat spying upon them. Commander, the solar faction seem to have convinced our hires to work with them instead. Ugh, really? Last time I take someone for leverage. Isn't this a bit far? Our whole thing is justice, not kidnappings. Sometimes the ends have to justify the means, Apollo. You should know this yourself for our so-called captain. Apollo says, right. If it means fixing everything, go through it. Planning an interception as we speak. Now that's the Apollo I know. Don't patronize me. I'll ask that this interception is just you. We want it to make it look natural. Apollo says, Madam, wouldn't that be risky? If they bring Sparky along, that alone could hinder our plans. I just trust in you to figure this out, Apollo. The woman's voice should have more irritated, but she kept her voice at a neutral tone. Apollo says, yes, ma'am. I shall figure out some way to intercept without being fishy. Good. Also let the others know Project Rogue is going into production. Project Rogue? We're going that far? The ends justify the means. Right, says Apollo. The ends justify the means. Good. Now get to work. Apollo says, yes, Commander. Apollo heard the walkie-talkie turn off and sighed. Project Rogue. What a leap to take. Apollo swapped channels and started to inform the others of the plan shift. All right. Chapter 5 in the books. All right. So, I guess we're working on Fire Yoshi now. We'll see what happens. I'm surprised we kind of just agreed to do that. I'm curious on what Escape's whole deal is, I mean, we'll see. Maybe there'll be some sort of betrayal thing going on. Who knows what'll happen? He's got maybe some history with the Fire Yoshi and Sparky Wolf, clan, but we'll see how that goes. All right. Cool. So far, so good. We're making progress, guys. We're making great time. Oh. Okay. Next up is chapter 6. It is called Fooling the Fools. And the music is the main theme of Balatro for 10 hours. Oh, God. Why can't this be the Game Awards version of the Balatro theme? I know that's like impossible because they only did a 30-second loop of it, but man, that was so good in, I think it was 2024's Game Awards. That was incredible. Incredible. But all right. I think we could who are you? Me? Oh, what was spelling? I don't even think I noticed. But all right, here we go. We got Balatro and we got chapter 6. So let's see how this goes. Okay. Here we go. Gabe says, okay, I have to mention it. Gabe was looking at some papers for the plans, looking through the names. So your name is spelled Fi, but everyone pronounces it Fi, like the Zelda character. Or Fi? Or Fi? I don't know. I think it's Fi. Like the Zelda character. What's even the point of the Y? Well, Fi, it says Fi. It's technically, it's just a nickname. My full name is Fire Sun Yoshimi, but it's a little hard for our ranks to pronounce, so most people just call me Commander Fire or Fi. Fire Sun Yoshimi. I mean, that isn't too hard to pronounce. You would be shocked how many people butcher it, says Fi. Can you guys actually work on strategies, says Ray? Crap, I completely forgot other people were here. Where are we going? Okay. Gabe looks around. It had been an hour since the 4 arrived back to this place. Gabe looks around at the room. Jesse is studying all the files as closely as possible. Escape and Sparky have been sitting here glaring at each other for who knows how long. Gabe and Fi have been planning the route on the map, and Ray had just been sitting there overseeing the whole thing with a face of disappointment. Ray says, so far, the only person who's gotten stuff done is Jesse. The rest of you have been as helpful as a rock holding a door open. Sometimes it's helpful. I'm just saying. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes a rock is good at holding doors open. But anyways, Sparky says, we must settle our differences with intimidation. Differences? You knocked me out, you, says Escape. Enough, says Ray. I feel like a 4th grade teacher right now. Get along and figure it out. Fi says, okay, I think I got it. Jesse walks over to the table. Jesse says, I've examined the files long enough. What you got? Well, there seems to be an opening here. Luckily, since the base is close to Central Park. Oh, we in New York? Okay. We can slip through the tall grass that's grown there, says Fi. Okay, then using the knife in our toolkit, we should be able to cut through the fence. Jesse says, then going through the tent, it should be right there. Which means it's just a matter of getting out. Sparky says, we don't want to attract attention, so make sure to bring a tranquilizer or a taser. After this, we take the same way out, says Fi. So if we intercepted, we use our alternate exit. Though if we're intercepted, we use our alternate exit, says Fi, which is the side gate. It's farther, but the spot had a small gap. You're in a tough scenario, says Jesse. Rely on your teammates. 2 heads is better than 1. I'll consider who's around me, says Escape. Gabe can see Escape glaring at Sparky with that remark. Ray says, I'll be overlooking it from afar. Take no more than the project files. What's so important about these files? Ray says, well, one of them is the map of the base. One of them is a Project Rogue that our members have learned of. And finally, one detailing the high-ranked members of the Moonlight faction. We need the map the most, but intel is ideal for everything, so we know what we're getting into. Escape says, that should allow us to learn who kidnapped Simon. Ray says, their leader has completely closed themselves off. We don't know who they are or their motives, just that they're willing to do anything for the ruby. Jesse says, so we've established everything, right? I believe so, says Fi. Huh, that only took an hour. It wouldn't even be enough to fill a chapter of a book. Jesse says, yeah, went smoother than expected. Well, says Ray, get ready. We leave in 2 hours. Project Rogue. Didn't think she would go that far. Apollo says, it's extreme, but the madam has requested it. We just have to work with it. Polly, you don't think this will replace us, do you? Doubt it, Scarlet. It's a last resort. Titan, codenames. That's like our thing. Right, sorry, says Titan. Apollo says, I believe what Titan said is correct. As long as we stop them, justice can continue being served by us, Athena. I guess, says Athena. No need to worry. After we finish, we can finally live knowing that we've done all we can. Justice. The ends justify the means, right? What we're doing is the right thing. I believe so, says Athena. Being able to bring back everyone seems like a fever dream. Still, says Titan, I wonder what her plans are to bring everyone back. I trust the madam to do the right thing. She got us this far, didn't she? Right, says Titan. She's just grown a little more restless, though. I hope our goal is still being justified. Well, those thieves did take the shiny ruby out of our hands, says Athena, and she got betrayed by those losers. Who wouldn't be restless, right, Artemis? Artemis says, I agree with Miss Athena. Misfortune has been approaching our fate since the battle at Solar Point. All we can do, says Apollo, is change it. Why don't you all rest for the night? You sure, Apollo? Says Athena. For all we know, they could be moving farther with their plan. I'm sure. Mistress's orders. Artemis says, well, if it's the lady's order, very well then, says Artemis. You sure this is all good, Apollo, says Titan? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, I'll head to my quarters then, says Titan. Same for me. Bye, Polly, says Athena. I must as well, sire. I'm going to look through our weapons and find the right ones for the cause, says Artemis. Have a good night's sleep, says Apollo. The three left the room and parted their separate ways. It's all fine, right? Apollo sat in silence for a second. Project Road. Don't have time to talk or to think. I need to arrive in 30 minutes. And that was that. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. Chapter 6. We got some stuff going on. So far, so good, guys. We got some new characters. We got Apollo, Athena, Artemis, Titan. Okay. 12 chapters, by the way. The whole book is 12 chapters. Oh, so we're halfway done chapter-wise, but page-wise, I mean, the cursor is like up here. So I'd say, I mean, you know more than I do, but I feel like we're maybe, even if we're halfway chapter-wise, we're probably only about maybe a third, maybe 40% of the way, length, like page length wise. So, hey, we'll see what happens. 12 chapters, but there's 24 songs. So I assume a lot of these chapters going forward are probably going to start having double music would be my guess. But hey, I mean, we're pushing through. We're making it happen. We are making it happen. All right. Cool. All right. All right. Give me a second. All right, perfect. We haven't got to the flashback section yet. I know, right? Yeah. Who knows what'll happen? Who knows what will happen? I really don't know where we will be. But, okay. Next up, chapter 7 is called Fractured Paths, Fractured Hearts. That might be a Persona reference that I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe. About 128 hours remain. So 40 hours have gone by in the week. And the music for this is from Metroid Prime. Phendrana Drifts. I really haven't listened to much of the Metroid Prime's OST besides like the title and menu theme of like the first Metroid Prime. And there's like a couple of songs in Metroid Prime 2 that I like and a few in Metroid Prime 3. But this is not one that I've paid much attention to in the first Metroid Prime. So we will see if this one is pretty good. All right, let's get started. Oh, I know this one. This might be is this in Smash Brawl? Might be. Anyways. Okay. Chapter 7. What's up, Jacoby? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Sparky says, we're here. The four look over the base in Central Park, bustling with moving trucks. The base is a bit smaller than I expected. We still shouldn't underestimate it, says Jesse. Sparky says, he's right. It being smaller just means we have less room to move around and more room to be caught. Escape says, well, how does Mr. Punch-A-Lot expect us to get in? I will start by punching you in the face, says Sparky. You're proving my point, says Escape. Sparky says, shut up. Anyway, we should be able to get through when the guards shift, and then we can sneak into that first vent. Jesse says, that's not very much wiggle room. That's why we brought these. Gabe hands out the walkie-talkies to everyone. We're going in pairs, says Sparky. I am not going with him, says Escape. Good thing you're the backup with Jesse then. Good luck, Buttercup, says Sparky. Okay, hostility of that aside, everyone's kits are designed for support and offense, which Sparky prepared himself. Sparky and Gabe threw down the briefcases as they'd been holding and opened them up. Excuse me. Sparky says, everyone is supplied with a gun for self-defense, so make sure to use it when needed. And a knife for cutting, in case we need to open a route on the fly. Gabe says, not really much of a lethal force guy. Sparky says, me and you have a tranquil gun. It will be reckless to use anything loud. Well, that's better, I suppose, says Gabe. Escape says, I just don't know how to use these. Sparky says, I gave you things that even a baby could understand. Just throw the small smoke grenade, and when someone gives you the signal, which we will never do since we will finish this in 10 minutes. Jesse says, break it up. A lot of this is first aid, I notice. Sparky says, you seem to have known a lot about it, so I gave you a bunch of it to work with, along with stuff to get us out of here if things go awry. My bad. Which they won't. Can we stop gloating and get on with it? Sparky says, they still haven't moved. We got a bit of time. Great, says Escape. They sit there for an hour waiting for the guards to move. Escape and Sparky stay silent while Gabe and Jesse just talk to one another. Do these guys not take breaks, says Sparky? So much for the plan. We're just going in, says Sparky. Sparky gets up and moves towards the guard. Sparky, what are you doing, says Jesse. Hey, says Sparky. We're on high alert, sir. We're going to ask you to leave, says guards one. Sparky pulls out the tranq gun and shoots both guards. Not on high alert now, are we, says Sparky. Sparky drags both of the unconscious guards to the group. Well, I guess that's one way to get in. Sparky says, this actually gives us an easier way in. What do you mean, says Jesse. Sparky says, we put on the outfits and we just walk in. Okay, I could see myself and Gabe walking in safely, but you look a little out there, says Jesse. And what's so out there for me, says Sparky. Oh, let's see, says Escape. Your white hair, large trench coat that doesn't fit you, constant scowl. What are you, a 2000s Eras kid definition of a cool character? Sparky scoffed at the remark, but didn't bother to snap back. Point is, we're a bit out there to really fit in, says Jesse. Fine, Gabe, you put on the outfit. I'll just advance in the shadows, says Sparky. Sparky runs off towards the base, leaving the three in the dust. Hey, where are you? You just want me to take this guy's clothes off? Hey, come back here, Sparky! 10 minutes later, Gabe finally makes it to the base, dressed up using the ID of the guard he replaced. I'm in. Sparky, where are you at? Sparky says, look at the tree to your right. Gabe spots Sparky on top of the tree with a tied-up guard dangling from the highest branch. Gabe sighed and walked over. Gabe such so much for going ahead. Sparky says, if it was up to me, I'd have grabbed them and been out of here. But since this has to be training for you guys, I decided to wait. Wow, so generous. Sparky jumps down as Gabe sighs. So where are these documents? Sparky says, just in the tent in front of us. Really? I put on a knocked out man's clothes just to walk a short distance and enter a small tent? Yes, I thought it would be bigger, says Sparky. They both stared at the tent for about a minute. Are we going to start moving? Or Sparky says, yeah, probably should. The two went to the tent and looked around. A lot more than I was thinking. I'll check the boxes, I guess. Sparky says, no need. That one is labeled Project Rogue. We still need the map. Sparky says, map is on the board. That is disappointingly easy. Sparky says, at least they're organized. Just grab it and let's get out of here. Gabe sighed while Sparky went to grab the box. Having fun, boys? Ooh, okay. Looks like we're getting caught. Oh, a Sonic. Yes. Yes. Sonic Rider Zero Gravity music coming up. The core. Okay, let's freaking go. Let's keep it going. Ooh. Oh, this is a good one. Yup. Sorry. I gotta take a break from this chapter so far. This music's banging. Dude, Zero Gravity, one of the fieriest, greatest OSTs in gaming. I stand by that. Okay. The two quickly turn around to see a giant armored man with the letter A on his helmet. The armor was colored purple with a small orange bandana around his neck. Should have known this place would have had some security that was somewhat competent. Eh, Apollo, says Sparky. Oh, so you do remember me, Sparky, says Apollo, still lamenting over your loss. Couldn't be farther from the truth, Apollo, says Sparky. I wouldn't even say you won that fight at that plant. Sparky says, Apollo says, off of what? Sonic, right? No! He turned 20! It did hurt. Yeah. That hurt. Thanks, Mudkip. Thanks. Apollo says, off of what? Because I had to retreat first from a meltdown? Face it, Spark. I'm better than you. Then why don't you prove it, Hotshot, says Sparky. What is even happening? Who are you? What plant? Apollo says, oh, right. I've never introduced myself to you, Gabe. My code name is Apollo. I work for the Lunar Force, the highest military force in the Moonlight faction. Unfortunately, you broke our little deal, so my task is to get rid of you. So you're the guy who kidnapped Simon? Who the hell is Simon? Says Apollo. He's a bit out of your pay grade, bud. We're going to need to teach you how to snap back. Bring it, Apollo, says Sparky. No patience with you, huh? Bring it, says Apollo. Sonic Air Riders, that's hilarious. Sparky charges forward with the knife, attempting to stab through Apollo's armor, but the knife bounces off and soars out of Sparky's hands. What? Says Sparky. Apollo grabs Sparky and holds him up to eye level. No, Sparky, we aren't on equal footing, you and I. No matter how much you train or how much your skill improves, I'm still a wall you can't conquer. A wall you can't overpower. Apollo hurls the squirming Sparky through the tent, breaking through the tent in boxes with great force, leaving Sparky struggling to get up on the floor. Trying to learn about Project Rogue. You should know. The less you know about it, the better. So why don't you just hand it here, Glasses? Says Apollo. No, you can't give up just yet. You don't have much of a choice, says Apollo. Apollo goes to punch Gabe, who tries to dodge but trips on the scattered documents and boxes from the shattered tent, allowing Apollo to launch Gabe back with the tent's cloth. No, says Gabe. Apollo says, a shame. All that determination, but no power to put behind it. A farewell to you, Gabe. Apollo feels a small tap to his right as he sees a small cord fall down after being bounced off his armor. Looking to his right, he sees Sparky standing up like he wasn't hit at all. Apollo says, looks like you don't know how to wait your turn. And a taser? What good was that going to do you in the long run, even if that worked? Sparky shoots a bullet with great speed, which also gets reflected off of Apollo's armor. Not even bullets break you, eh, says Sparky? Guess you weren't lying about the invincible part. Apollo says, as long as I have this armor, you can't touch me, Spark. Hit me with whatever you want, and I'll be standing like nothing happened. Anything, says Sparky? Oh, does the dog still have new tricks, says Apollo? I wouldn't call it new, says Sparky. Gabe sat there, watching the two mock each other, slowly losing blood. He reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket that still worked, even after the beating. He decided to turn it on. Jesse says, Gabe, come on, pick up. Gabe says, I can hear you, Jesse. Oh, thank the Lord, says Jesse. What happened down there? Are you okay? Gabe says, some Moonlight faction member named Apollo dropped in on us. I'm going to request some help getting out of here. We're on it. Just stay put, says Jesse. The two turned off their walkie-talkies and started to sprint over. Gabe glanced over at what Sparky and Apollo were doing and was confused to see that they hadn't even started fighting over the last attack. Oh, please. All you seem to be doing is stalling for time, says Apollo. I'm not going to break that box to show how powerful I am. Come on, stalling? That's not like me, says Sparky. You're right. I genuinely think I gave you brain damage with that punch, says Apollo. Have they genuinely been talking like this the entire time? Well, if that's the case, let's put the old dog out of its misery, says Apollo. Sparky stood up straight for the first time since he was thrown, with a glare that would strike fear into any normal person. That confident, says Sparky? Confidence is for fools. Only logic stands above, says Apollo. Let's see your logic deal with this, says Sparky. Sparky chucks a grenade at Apollo, causing him to stagger at the sight of it. At this range? That's soup! The grenade explodes, hitting both Sparky and Apollo. The shrapnel piercing Sparky's shoulder and barely dodging Gabe. Both collapse to the floor off of the force of the blast. Gabe! Gabe! Gabe looked around, feeling woozy after the loud, ear-piercing noise of the grenade had hit his ears. He looked to his left to see Jesse and Escape arriving next to him. Gabe! Oh my gosh, we need to get you out of here, says Jesse. It hurts. Jesse says, we'll get you out of here. Don't worry. Jesse pulled the medical supplies given to him by Sparky and started treating the wounds. He looked around, but Escape was nowhere to be seen. Escape, says Jesse. Sparky slowly regained his footing, getting up. He turned aside to see Escape walking towards him with a massive glare. Are you insane, says Escape. You could have killed yourself and Gabe with that type of recklessness. Semantics, says Sparky. It worked in the end. Just because it worked, says Escape, doesn't mean it was the best move. There could have been multiple other ways to do that without being that reckless. Sparky says, well, he's dead and no longer an issue. Now let me get to Healer Man over there so I can get this shrapnel out. Dead? Sparky and Escape quickly diverted their eyes to the presumed corpse of Apollo, only to see him standing upwards with a shattered mask and broken pieces of his armor. The mask was broken in a way where you could see his eyes glaring out, and the armor was mainly intact with some holes in the chest area where the grenade was blown up. This armor wasn't as strong as I expected. A small grenade being able to do that much damage wasn't quite in the design cards. No matter, it takes a lot more than that to bring me down. And look at you, Mr. Loner, having backup on the way? Good. Just one less of your group for me to locate. Sparky, you need to run, says Escape. Not while he's still here, says Sparky. Swallow your pride, Sparky, says Escape. Going down fighting is not a viable strategy right now. I said I won't. We need to run, says Escape. I will not run again not after what happened to her, says Sparky. Sparky shot around at Apollo, who has easily deflected the shots with his arm. He grabbed a steel pole and swung at Sparky, who, due to the damage of the shrapnel, took it directly to his shoulder. I don't know what you've gone through, but doing this again means certain death, says Escape. Escape pulled out a smoke grenade from his kit, but Sparky knocked it out of his hand using the knife he had. No more running, says Sparky. You're still running to your death, comrade, but you're standing your ground. Apollo's justice demeanor dropped. His pose became more attack-oriented as he lost his heroic pose, and he let his Russian accent bleed through the fake voice he had been keeping up this entire time. A true coward's path. Putting yourself before your teammates. A disgrace to everything you have worked towards. What did you just say, says Sparky? Truth is, it was admirable from the start. The idea of a goal you believed in, I almost saw myself in you, wanting to protect the people you trust. Where are you going with this, says Sparky? But your emotions get the better of you. Willing to put everyone in danger over yourself, just so your ego can tell you that you're helping. You, says Sparky? You're a coward, Sparky, says Apollo, unable to see facts in front of you. Blind to the fact that everything you've been doing is meaningless. Putting yourself and everyone around you at risk, just so your little dopamine hit makes it feel like you're doing something. Shut up, says Sparky. Sparky charges at Apollo, who quickly slaps him away with just his hand, knocking Sparky to the ground. Apollo says, well, guess what, little bulldog? You're not the big scary wolf you think you are. You're just a scared little puppy dog who hides his emotions from the big scary world, so concerned about what he needs to do with himself that he unknowingly leads himself into a bigger predator than what he would if he had paid attention. Sparky grunts at this remark, getting back up, just for Apollo to kick him back down. And unlike his feline counterparts, there is no 9 lives for you, just a one wasted attempt. Apollo grabbed his walkie-talkie from his pocket and started speaking into it. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but sure, some sort of a code with Russian text. Apollo puts down the walkie-talkie and stares back at Sparky. Apollo, then again, here I am, solo on this quest without my comrades. Maybe in the end, we aren't so different after all. A shame this has got to end so soon. The sound of a chopper can be heard in the distance before getting within viewing distance of the group. Running away, says Sparky. This road is burned to a crisp, says Apollo. After all the war and suffering, we shall end that cycle for good. Goodbye, Sparky. May you and your teammates' sins be burned away. Apollo glances up at the arriving helicopter, witnessing the ladder being dropped down. He looks back to see Escape attempt to stop it by throwing the smoke grenade and the blades, but Apollo shoots it out of the war with a shotgun he had on his shoulder. And just remember, says Apollo, if it wasn't for this whole justice shtick, this would be much worse. Apollo climbs up the ladder and signals the chopper to fly away. Much to Sparky's dismay, the chopper flies into the upcoming sunrise. No, says Sparky. Sparky collapses to the ground in anger, not taking regard for his injured shoulder. He ran again and had the audacity to call me a coward, says Sparky. Escape slaps Sparky across the face in anger. Get a damn grip on yourself, says Escape. After all that, that's what you're thinking about? You're lucky we didn't get off worse. Get a grip? Get a grip, says Sparky. You just stood around and did nothing that entire time. You think you have the authority to tell me to get a grip? Do you hear yourself, says Escape? You're only proving his point. If the only thing you can think about is poor me and blaming others, then maybe you are a coward. You are not my superior, you, says Sparky. Guys, says Jesse, we still have an injured person. We need to get out of here. Did you not hear what we said about? The ground started to shake like an earthquake. Suddenly, flames started to spread from the floor and blossom, throwing dirt everywhere. This place is rigged with explosives. Run, says Jesse. Escape helps hold the unconscious Gabe as they sprint out of the exploding camp. Flames burst from all around, throwing charred objects towards the group. Reaching the exit, a pipe flies towards the group and hits Jesse straight on the arm, making him fall over, dropping Gabe to safety. Escape rushes over to get Jesse up as the force of the final explosion barely misses the both of them, pushing them away from the entrance with their lives. Jesse, are you okay, says Escape. My arm, it's in a lot of pain. Escape says, you were hit by a burning pipe at high speeds. I'd imagine so. Don't worry about me. How's Gabe, says Jesse. He seems fine, says Escape. He's still, at least he's still breathing with some minor injuries. You treated him well, it seems. That's good. I think I need to breathe, says Jesse. Now that everyone is out and our mission failed, now what, says Sparky? I wouldn't say entirely failed, says Jesse. I grabbed the map of the base when I was treating Gabe, and we just don't have the plans. Great, so we accomplished half of our task, says Sparky. You want to give us the snark now of all time, says Escape? You're half of the reason it failed. We could have escaped and grabbed the plants with a distraction, but no, you had to go guns blazing. So many injuries that could have been avoided, so much pain and suffering, and for what? Your ego? No, you listen here, you, says Sparky. I'm done listening to you. Not after what you've done to me, not after what you did to my friend. Consider this my resignation notice. Escape marches away from Sparky, clearly frustrated at everything. Jesse went to speak up, but didn't, knowing there was no point. Leave them. We don't need you, says Sparky. Only we think differently, says Jesse. Suddenly, Sparky heard a small bit of static from his radio. It was Ray calling in. Sparky, if you hear this, you might be done for. We got ambushed, and the radio went static as Sparky stared at the two remaining members. Woo! My, oh my. That was a heavy filled chapter. All right, chapter 7. We're losing Escape. He's walking out. Ray looks like he's getting ambushed. Unleashed music. Yeah. Apato's Windmill Isle Night. Yeah. Sonic Unleashed. Absolutely. Really liking this so far. No, it's a pretty good book. We're getting close to the halfway point in terms of page length, but then again, there might be some of the pages at the end. I mean, a lot of the lores have had like credits and like some drawings, so I assume maybe, I'm not sure if this one also has that, but in terms of like just the overall page length, we're pretty much at the halfway. We're just a tad shy just before, halfway. Yeah, no, I'm liking this. This is pretty good. We'll see where this goes. Second water bottle down. Got one more. If I finish this one before I finish the lore, I'm gonna have to go back and get some more water, but we'll worry about that later. Woo! Okay. Well, let's keep it going, y'all. Chapter 8 is The Fall. This one only has 128 hours remaining. Okay, so wait, I thought the last one also had 128 because that's 40 hours. I'm pretty sure. Hang on. Chapter 7. I know this was a longer chapter, but I think this one was it also 128? I guess maybe that entire sequence wasn't necessarily an hour long, right? Yeah, okay. Chapter 7 was also 128 hours. Okay, so not much time has gone off, so roughly about the same. Looks like maybe chapter 7, like less than an hour roughly. But all right, well, we'll see how it goes. It was a heavy action chapter, so I mean, I get it. It's just really all about invading a spot and all that. So, all right, chapter 8, The Fall. The song you guys can see, Sonic Unleashed. It is Apato's Windmill Isle Night. Let's listen. Okay, trying to think. Is this the song that they used for, well, this isn't the song, but is this a song that inspired the Apato's track on Crossroads? Maybe. I can't tell. It definitely doesn't sound similar, but maybe. All right, anyways, regardless, let's get going with chapter 8. Ray says, well, now that we're waiting for them to come back for their mission, there isn't much we can do right now. Fi says, well, I mean, it's nice. It's been so stressed as of late. That relaxation hasn't been on the table. Ray says, I haven't pulled my Pokemon pack today. Hold on. TCG Pocket is still up, says Fi. Somehow? Yes, says Ray. Huh. Would have thought that would have been shut down like Go or Master, says Fi. Never underestimate the power of trading card game fans, says Ray. Well then, I think we have Battleship in the cabinet, says Fi. Honestly, I'm down, says Ray. This brings me back when it was just the two of us running around helping who we could when this all started, says Fi. To think, says Ray, this would all turn out this way. The lunar faction used to be so peaceful. Fi says, that was when Wim was in charge. Now that he's gone, the place has changed. Ray says, he was a good man. It wasn't like him to go missing like that. Fi says, he was on edge by the time of his disappearance, but that wasn't that concerning at the time. Ray says, and now we have to deal with this. This truly never ends. Firestone looked at the clock. It had been 10 minutes since the group had left. He thought to himself for a second and decided to speak his mind. Why him, says Fi. What do you mean, says Ray. Why pick Sparky, the member known for going solo with a team, says Fi. Oh, that? Well, honestly, I wanted him to get used to a team dynamic. How it will work is beyond me, but I trust that it will at least go decently, says Ray. But wouldn't it be better to keep Escape here to avoid most conflicts, says Fi? That's true, says Ray. For this operation to work, we need to work out their differences. They have much more than that, says Fi. I feel bad for the guy. He didn't deserve that, says Ray. But for now, all we can do is the two heard a bang coming from the opposite direction, followed by screams of the guards and gunshots. It seems like our game of Battleship will have to be postponed, says Fi. Not like we started to begin with, says Ray. Excuse me. The two rush out the door to the hallway, finding the hall empty and the entrance door ripped wide open. We just heard noises. Whoever came in cannot be far, says Ray. Ray pulled a chip from his glove and threw two spheres into the air. The two small spheres sprung to life with a press of a button and started scanning the area. It's been a while since I've seen you use the air droids, says Fi. I haven't been fighting for a while. I've been using all my knowledge on the sidelines, says Ray. Maybe this will be a good thing to get the blood flowing again. Ray signals the droids to look for footsteps. They locate two sets of footprints on the steel floor and signals the droids to follow them. Stay on guard, says Ray. Firestone readies his weapons as they walk forward. Following the droids, they go through multiple rooms, progressively becoming more destroyed. What happened here, says Fi. The next room they entered was nearly a different color. The red shined through the metallic plating, the tables flown around and charred, yet no signs of life in general. Ray says it's like a ghost came through here. Not a single soul remains. Fi says there's still one more door left. Ray says we're going to have to enter it, but there's a good chance it's a trap. Fi says we break down the door. You cover me with the air droids in creation mode. Got it, says Ray. Ray quickly swapped the blue chip he had in his glove with the yellow one, emanating a yellow glow in the air droids. Now, says Ray. All right, we'll switch up to, all right, Black Knives Extended OST from Elden Ring. Okay. I'll get darker here. Here we go. Firestone crashes through the door using his hammer and sees a hooded figure holding a guard. The room around him was completely red, but there weren't any bodies to make it be said color. Reveal yourself, says Fi. The hooded figure looked towards Firestone. His robe was purple on the edges of the outfit with black as his main color. The person wearing it seemed to have dark gray armor under it, with face obscured by a helmet fitting of a knight. In his hand he had a terrified guard, and in the other he had a large blade of what seemed to be a modified claymore. Speak, says Fi. The hooded figure did not acknowledge his request. Instead, he looked directly at the guard he was holding and proceeded to ignore the duo. I swear, I don't know what you want with me. Please, spare me, says guard. Ray says, Jim, what happened here? I don't know, says the guard. All I know is the hooded figure activated a machine on his wrist, which charged up and instantly blew the guard up, sending a red light substance everywhere, hitting Firestone's face. What did you just do, says Fi. The hooded figure turned to Firestone, for the first time acknowledging his presence. Solar faction must be eliminated. Firestone turned to Ray as in question what to do. He saw Ray swapping chips to a red one, activating attack mode on his air droids. Firestone then turned back to the hooded figure and readied his hammer. I don't know who you are, says Fi, but if you think you can stroll in here and kill everyone here unharmed, you have another thing coming, you bud. Eliminate. The hooded figure lunged towards Firestone to grab him, caught off guard by the pure speed of the figure. He dodges out of the way as Ray blasts him with the small light guns that the air drones were paired with. The hooded figure simply walks through the bullets to get to Firestone. Crap, bullets do nothing, says Ray. He seems dead set on me, Ray. Find a way to get past him. On it, says Ray. Ray quickly swapped chips back to yellow and summoned the drones to him. He grabbed on the drones and pressed It pressed a button on them, summoning 2 concentrated light beams. Firesen dodged around the figure's sword in attempts at grabbing him while attempting to hit him with his own attacks. The figure, almost in a robotic manner, dodged these attacks with ease and tried using them as opportunities to hit his own. Firesen, duck, says Ray. Ray turned the drones to face each other and made a staff of light and blocked the figure's sword, allowing Firesen to swing his hammer at the figure's face. The figure proceeded to lift his hand and catch the hammer instead, grabbing it and throwing it out of Firesen's hand. Fi says, he caught it? Look, says Ray. Ray backed up. The two looked at the figure who was looking at the destroyed gadget on his hand. He grabbed said gadget and threw it on the floor. Good seems like we can't be one shot anymore, says Ray. The figure seemed to have diverted its attention to behind them. The duo, confused, heard the clapping of someone behind them. The figure kneeled as they quickly turned to see what was happening. So the dynamic duel still lasts, huh? The hooded figure stopped clapping and pulled out the ruby from their pocket. Damn it, we were played, says Fi. Oh, relax, boys. Just taking back what's mine. Yours, says Ray. Last time I checked, we found this in a broken part of the sewers. That's because one of my traveling researchers dropped it when we were moving our testing elsewhere. I would have grabbed it, but you two found it before me. Testing. Does that mean, says Fi? Yes. Product 047. The power ruby is my, of course it's 47. The power ruby is my invention. Ray and Firesen were shocked by the news, but the hooded figure keeps a completely blank face and continues. It was meant to power a machine of mine, but my plans were set back due to needing the prototype to create a new one. So here I am, reclaiming the fate itself. Fate itself, says Ray. That doesn't matter. I have what I want. Wait, we can't just let you leave, says Fi. The figure turned around, showing her long white locks. She had a similar coat to the other figures, but didn't cover herself with armor. Her blue eyes stood out in the red room, contrasting her blank expression. That's a nice weapon, Mason Ray. You're a solid inventor, one of the few left. How do you know my full name, says Ray. I know a lot about you and your group. You consider it my job if you will. Firesen says, where are you going with this? You want to know what Project Rogue is? Well, he's right behind you. I'm not fooling around. I want you to bring me the heads of Firesen Yoshimi and Mason Ray. Rogue, R-O-G-U-E. Your wish is my command, Lord. The rogue got up as the hooded figure walked away. It quickly swung at the duo's head, barely missing as they scrambled to get away, slashing effortlessly at them as they dodge and weave. You can't last like this forever, says Fi. I have an idea, but we need to get out of here, says Ray. Firesen looks at Ray for a second, then nods his head. I trust you. The two run through the rooms while the rogue chases after them. Ray quickly swaps chips to blue. Firesen, when I say dive, dive. Ray sends out the air droids and sets a timer. 10 seconds, get to the entrance. Wait, you aren't. Ray says, the place is going down anyway. Nothing left to save. Ray pulls out the walkie-talkie and turns it on. Sparky, if you hear this, we might be done for. We got ambushed, and the base is as good as gone. Crap, the timer. Firesen, dive! The two dive for the entrance as the droids detonate the artillery room, destroying the base in flames with Rogue in it. We did it. Well, at least that's one of our issues done, says Fi. We need to meet up with the others, says Ray. Right, let's get out of here, says Fi. The two run off away from the bunker with one last strand left, unaware of the hooded figure in sights. Seems I underestimated you, Ray, but at the same time, you underestimated me. She looked left to the collapsed bunker. Rise, Rogue. The armored man rose through the collapsed bunker, looking slightly defeated. You failed this time, Rogue. I'm sorry, madam. Don't worry, you'll get your chance. It seems like I made a great miscalculation. Embarrassing for someone of my caliber. You'll get your chance for revenge. I do not crave revenge, respectfully. Oh, maybe programming you to have no emotions was a flaw. No matter, it's still the best way to keep you in check. I don't need another HW411 situation to happen. What is HW411? It doesn't regard you or anyone else that's alive anymore. We're at the end point, Rogue. We shall let the ends justify the means. Understood? As you might say, let the games begin. Okay. Woof. Chapter 9 with 117 hours to go. Oh boy. I assume I'm assuming just Rogue is a robot, considering ROGUE. But kind of spelled like Rob. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, he's definitely a robot. Rogue's definitely a robot in this one. Yeah. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna take a little, give me like 30 seconds. I need like a, a speaking break for a second. Just gotta, get the vocals back. We'll be good. We'll be good though. I think we're just despite there being about 4 chapters left according to V, we're about halfway done page count wise. So I assume that these next 4 chapters mathematically are going to be the longest. What does rogue stand for? That's a great question. So robotic operating, hang on, I got this. Robotic operating, man, the U is the hardest part. I don't know. Robot, there's something. I'm thinking like the E could be like extinction or elimination or eliminate, something like that. If it's like an attacking robot. Oh, that's pretty good. Really original geared up entity. That's pretty good. Okay. I like that. That's a pretty solid name. Yeah. Okay. Chapter 9 looks like it is called The Lowest Point. This one does not necessarily have a what do you call it? You guys can't see the song here, but the song that will be coming up next is Bramble Blast from Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the remix. All right, let's make it happen. The next song, y'all. Gabe opened his eyes. It's been about 6 hours since he was knocked out during the last fight. He could see Jesse noticing he's awake and rushing over to him. Oh my gosh, you're okay, says Jesse. I wouldn't say okay. My head still hurts. Gabe noticed the giant cast on his arm and visibly panicked for a second before calming down. Gabe, are you all right? Your arm. Oh, right, said Jesse. Jesse raised his cast a bit as if to show he was all right, but ended up wincing in pain. After you were knocked unconscious, me and Escape brought you to safety as the base exploded, and it just happened that a piece of debris hit me on your way out. Says Jesse. It exploded? What about the map and project plans? Jesse says, we got the map at the very least. Safe to say they used them as bait to get us there. And where's Escape? Gone. Sparky entered the room. He was wearing a green raggedy jacket over his normal attire along with blue jeans, brown boots, white, while some part of his hair was still white. Most of it was a light brown color, almost like something you would see out of a comic book. What? Oh, he's not dead. He's just up and left the team, says Sparky. Jesse, is this true? Gabe could see the pain on Jesse's face as he nodded his head. What happened last night for all this to happen? We lost, said Sparky. Well, I know we lost the battle, but why does everyone look so demoralized? Gabe, we didn't just lose the fight. We lost everything. What do you mean? Look around, says Sparky. Gabe looked around. He could see some smoothie cups and hand-painted walls, nothing that looked like the base he had made himself somewhat familiar with. Hey, Sparky, other than your outfit, why is everything so different? Sparky sighed and looked directly at Gabe. Gabe could almost see a bit of sadness in his eyes, like something we hadn't seen from him before. Last night, when me and Jesse brought you here to the smoothie shop, which the owner graciously allowed us in for, I went in to go check the base after the concerning call we got from Ray. To simply put it, there was no base, and we don't know if they're even alive. Gabe was put in a state of shock. All that effort they worked for erased in a flash. So we've returned here. Due to my clothes burning from the fight and the explosions, I had to work with this outfit for the time being, says Sparky. So we're really, Sparky says, yes, we have the map, but we don't have nearly enough resources and knowledge. If we had Fire and Ray, maybe we would still have a small chance, but we would need immense knowledge on the Lunar Force. Oh, right. After we turned up the shop owner, who had startled them due to his normally quiet and reserved nature. Is there something wrong, Theo? Says Sparky. No, it's just that I remember that those guys like to come to the smoothie shop every once in a while. In fact, they're quite popular with the people from that faction. One of my customers gave me a recording of one of the plays they did for good service. You mean their performers, said Jesse? In a way, yes, says Theo. They apparently help the people of the faction as well with problems. I have a customer every once in a while chat about how cool one of them is, or that they helped them find their cat, or give speeches in schools about doing good. They sound like really stand-up guys overall, said Jesse. Before I forget, says Theo, here's the VHS tape they gave me of the play. There should be a VHS player in the back room. While they sound back stand-up, if they truly did what you said they did, then maybe they should be brought to justice themselves. Theo handed over the VHS tape to Sparky, who thanked him. He looked at it, the label which said, Rise of Heroes, Take Down the Evil Darkness. On the back, it was labeled August 29th, 2023. Sparky says, this tape is labeled from 4 years ago. That's when their leader was different. Theo, do customers still talk about them now? Theo says, yeah, not as frequently, but I handed that tape last year. They still do presentations and help people, I hear, but the shows have been on infinite hiatus. Interesting, says Jesse. For now, let's pop in this VHS tape and see what this is about. The trio enter the back room and locate the video player Theo talked about. They plugged it in and inserted the tape into the old VHS player. Okay, let's see what you've been up to, says Sparky. The tape started by a woman greeting everyone. She had white hair and purple eyes while wearing gray t-shirt and black jeans. Welcome all. She doesn't seem excited to be there. It's like her face is blank. Unfortunately, Wim could not make it today for hosting of the event, so I shall be hosting the play. Wim. I feel like I heard that name before, says Sparky. Wim was the original leader of the Moonlight faction. He went missing around the time of when this play had happened, says Jesse. But for now, he's ready for the show. The audience cheered loudly as well as much as a dusty speaker could process. Say, welcome to your beloved heroes, Titan. An orange-coated costume ran out. He was much smaller than Apollo, but the costume was still consistent other than the color. Are you ready to punch some evil, says Titan. The crowd cheered in applause. Titan says, that's what I like to hear. Sorry, Athena, get out here and join us. The crowd cheered as a girl in the pink costume entered the stage and then laughed as she hit Titan's helmet. You still don't get the point of stage names, huh? Anyways, welcome all. Are you all ready to blow the evil away? The crowd cheered again. Athena says, woo, yeah. You're all ready to fight crime with the other two. Well, come on out to Wild Artemis. Artemis jumped down from the ceiling and threw a rose into the audience, which they cheered for. He had a blue outfit while still being a bit taller than Titan. Welcome to the Marvelosio play here today. Our mirage shall reach for the stars and we shall strike down evil's bane together. Sparky says, this man acts like he's in a Spanish rom drama. Huh? He's acting like, you know what? Never mind. Continue, says Sparky. And now for the star of the show, our captain, Apollo. The crowd cheered the loudest yet as the man himself entered the stage. Apollo, hello everyone. Ladies and gents, children and adults, are you ready to be the best you can be? The crowd yells yes in unison. He has so much energy here. He's practically nothing like how he was back in the base. Reminder that the show is all, well, show, says Sparky. How he works on duty and how he works in secret may not be the same. The curtains move away and the main villain reveals himself. Dr. Darkness, says Apollo. Dr. Darkness had a full black cloth suit. You couldn't even see his face. He had also had a red vest and a fake mechanic part surrounding his legs. So the super nobodies show up to foil my plans after all. Well, you're too late to stop us, says Dr. Darkness. You fiend! What did you do, says Athena. In 20 minutes, New York City shall be covered in my patented magic void ink, and you're powerless to stop me, says Dr. Darkness. I'll stop you, says Titan, with my electric power fists. Nothing can stop my punches. You'll have to catch me first, says Dr. Darkness. All characters run right stage as the audience claps. Gabe says, well, I mean, that wasn't that bad. I could see why someone would enjoy that. Gabe, that was Act 1. Oh. Theo opened the door and started speaking. Theo says, hey guys, you have guests? Sparky says, yes. Ray and Firesen entered the room to the shock of the trio. Commander and General, you're alive, says Sparky. Somehow, yes, says Ray. But the bunker thing crumbled to dust. Off of our doing, we collapsed it to stop the rogue, says Fi. The rogue? He came in and wiped out the entire base other than the two of us, says Ray. There was another who seemed to be commanding them. I believe that is our culprit. The play's second act began, and the group scaled a fake building. Apollo says, give it up, Dr. Darkness. You can't run forever. Titan says, get ready to fake justice. Get ready to face justice, says Titan. What's that, says Five. Apparently, our Lunar Force do plays. Theo had a recording of one, so we're watching to see what we can learn about them in general, says Sparky. Not a bad idea, says Ray. Mirage, says Artemis. Artemis appeared to have turned her into 4 as the crowd cheered him on. Dr. Darkness says, it'll take more than your fast-paced tricks to fool me. Dr. Darkness poured a bunch of dye on the floor, making Artemis slip as Dr. Darkness laughed. Take the super fiend, says Dr. Darkness. Titan says, you aren't getting away that easy. Electro fists, go! Titan jumps towards Dr. Darkness and throws a couple of punches. One of them landed on his stomach. Dr. Darkness says, ouch! You want to play like that? Dr. Darkness brings out a comedically large, squeaky hammer and whacks Titan with it, getting a laugh out of the audience. It seems like the Titan has swapped directions. Tools now, says Dr. Darkness. He laughed as he ran off stage, and Titan groaned as he holds his helmet. Titan says, don't worry about me, guys. I'll catch up. Go and get the doctor before he covers the city in goo. The two agree and run off stage as the curtains close once again. Sparky says, if that was to be believed, Artemis has mirages and Titan has enhanced punches. Ray says, honestly, while the acting is something out of a high school play, it's still enjoyable. Could be worse, is 5. Could be the Minecraft movie. Oh my lord. I mean, at that point, 2027, Minecraft movie 2 might even be a thing. Who knows? Justice says, you guys went to see that? There really wasn't much to watch in 2025, considering movies are rare nowadays, says Sparky. The stage reopened as the 3 characters ran on stage. Nowhere to run, Dr. Darkness, says Apollo. Dr. Darkness says, don't you see it? The plan shall go off in 2 minutes, and the goo shall rain from the sky. Not if we stop you first, says Athena. Athena and Apollo jump Dr. Darkness. As he tries to fight back, he uses some of the ink in his pocket to hit Apollo. Why is the black world? Says Apollo. What? Why does the world look so black? You got hit with ink, says Athena. Why is it so difficult to wipe off? I got this. Athena pulls her bow back to hit Dr. Darkness, but using the comically oversized hammer, he knocks it right back at her. Dr. Darkness says, yes, now no one can stop me. The machine suddenly breaks, releasing a huge wave of goo on Dr. Darkness. Ah, it burns! Forgot about someone, says Titan. I won't forget this, says Dr. Darkness. Dr. Darkness trips and falls off the makeshift roof of the building, causing a cheer from the crowd, and for all of the actors of the play, go on stage and take a bow. Cheer for your wonderful actors. The girl walked back on stage as everyone clapped. That's her, says Ray. That's who? That's the woman who was next to the road, says Spy. Is there any mention of her name, says Ray? Not that we know, says Sparky. We will be back next Wednesday. Thank you all for coming. The tape ended after that line. Damn it, says Ray. We all have the info we need. Let's come up with a plan. Do we? We don't really know that much still. Sparky says, well, we know what the 4 do. We just need to save your cousin, right? About that, says Spy. She might have sort of taken the ruby. I'm sorry, what? Says Sparky. Ray says, we have less time than we thought. We have to raid tomorrow. Jesse says, then you guys raid at 4 a.m. July 3rd, 2027. Gabe says, what about you, Jesse? Well, with this arm, I'm useless. It would just be you forces, Jesse. So this is it. This is what we have to do. Seems so, says Ray. There's not much time. Let's finish this, says Spy. Oh boy. Oh wow, a lot of time has passed. Holy cow, chapter 10. Now there's only 32 hours left. Oh, it's chapter 9. Chapter 9 must have been, wasn't chapter 9 like 117 or something? So, man, a lot of time in between those 2 chapters, but fair enough. Fair enough. I guess, yeah, when Jesse said 4 a.m. July 23rd, so I guess, maybe it was a couple of days later. But, yeah, I apologize for some of you guys if you're typing comments and they're getting deleted. I do not know what's going on. I have a bunch of, like, forbidden words, so maybe you're just accidentally typing a word that is banned on this channel, and overall, your comments just getting hidden. I would imagine it's not the case because the only words that I have are really bad ones on YouTube that I have banned, obviously. But if you're just typing a standard message, then yeah, honestly, I really don't know. So I apologize that if you guys are typing messages and they're just getting deleted. I'm not necessarily too sure what the deal is with that. But either way, yeah. No, that word is not. No. Okay. Oh, we can pause the music. Yeah. Okay. Chapter 10. Whew. Okay. We're getting there, y'all. We are getting there. So far, so good. Sparky's PTSD from his content isn't banned here. Oh, I mean, well, Sparky just doesn't, because I stream so late, at least for he likes to he goes to sleep on time in his time zone. So my stream times are not at a great time for him. So plus I haven't seen his contents to know exactly what what he's going through on streams. But yeah, it's too different. Just because he's my mod doesn't mean what he's got going on his channel is gonna carry over to mine. But it is what it is. Oh, okay. Your sleep schedule's screwed up. I joined the club. Mine is also not the greatest. But okay. We are at chapter 10. The song is Paper Mario and the Origami King. It is Tranquil Pipes Tea House. Watch this be one of the like Final Fantasy type songs or whatever that I tried to guess, but ended up being a Paper Mario song. Okay, well, it's a Tranquil, so it says Records Null 2022. So this might be a peace chapter. This might be a peaceful chapter. You tried fixing it? Yeah, I mean, there's multiple factors that go into it, but yeah, sometimes it's hard to get a pretty good sleep schedule. We'll all figure out what works for us, obviously. Okay. Okay, we can hear that, yeah. Chapter 10. Records, null, 2022. 32 hours remain. Day 1, June 20, 2022. Is this thing on? I think it is. Well, I got about 30 minutes to talk. This is day 1 of my personal journal documenting the design of HW411. From my young years as a child, excelling in all my classes, getting a quantum physics degree at 15, I never thought I'd be here with the best of the best. It's almost a bit intimidating, a little scary at times, ha ha ha. I would have never thought that there would be a lab down here. I feel like I've lived in New York all my life, and yet I'm still learning things. Little old Luna in the big leagues now. I admittedly haven't talked with anyone, considering we're all here on business, but I'm sure some of these guys are chill probably. I'm glad I'm not the only woman here. There were 2 more. I think it was Ari and, what was her name? Carmen? Sideline? It doesn't matter at all for now. Well, that's about all the time I have for now. I'll keep this updated as things progress. Records day 6, June 26, 2022. Day 6 of development of HW411, I believe is what it's be. As smart as these people might be, they only think about the work, especially Ritz Garms. He might be brilliant, but man, does this man drive me insane. Well, they aren't all bad. Ari's pretty cool. I heard she was planning a party to celebrate 10 days of work. We'll see who actually shows up. Ain't confident in this group being the party type. I'm not entirely sure why we need this weapon. Our job is to give it sentience, which obviously the higher cups have never seen a Terminator movie. But I mean, those are just movies, right? As long as we give it limits and a way to disable it, we should be fine. Oh, I think I need a drink. I should grab a soda from the mini fridge. It's kind of weird living here, being so far away from mom and dad. It's just my first time away from home. I'm sure I'll get used to it. Well, that's it then. While this week hasn't been bad, I hope it picks up. It's just been a lot of work with no time to breathe. Due to the test period the military wants us to do, we have about 30 days before we start. It's definitely a crunch. Record, day 13, July 3rd, 2022. Okay, so Ari's party was today after being delayed a little bit, and I may have had a bit too much to drink. I honestly can't feel my head, but she's so cool, man. Me and her talked all night while the others were playing pool. Did you know that Ritz is shockingly good at pool? I mean, his opponent wasn't that bad. Why am I talking about this like someone else is going to watch this? Man, I can't sleep. Think straight. Oh, what did I need to talk about again? Oh, right, HW411. What did we do today? All right, we have almost finalized its AI. So now we just got to focus on the material its body is made out of. Purple Hair made some really cool substance that wraps around things while still absorbing things. Not entirely sure how it works, even as a quantum physicist, but as long as it works, it works. I think I might close my eyes a little bit. Day 18, July 8th, 2022. Is this thing on? Ari, you want to introduce yourself? Ari says, hell yeah. So this is what you've been doing this entire time? Luna says, yeah, it's a little embarrassing to be honest. Ari says, don't be. Most great scientists document their work. Luna says, right. Ari says, anyways, going into science talk, HW411 is nearly complete. I'll give Ritz this. He's a great programmer, and this project wouldn't be possible without him. But Lin, what's her name again? Says Luna. We both suck at naming her, huh? Yeah, says Luna. This doesn't matter, says Ari. I grabbed some tickets to the baseball game in town. It starts in 2 hours. I've actually never watched baseball, says Luna. Well, then there's a first time for everything, says Ari. Well, come on, you're gonna love it, says Ari. Record day 12, July 12, 2022. With, 10 more days left. We're at the home stretch. Just have to do some bug testing. You know, with such a small team and such a short cycle, you'd imagine that this would have gone poorly. But we have successfully made an AI in 26 days. I just need to finish the overall design. I almost feel like I haven't done much before, but in the case this thing goes rogue, I have a protocol that detonates the bomb inside of its head with an EMP, disabling it. It's not quite my forte, so it's nothing too complicated, but if it works, right? Ari invited me bowling today, so I'll be out of here for a bit. I mean, bowling isn't the hardest thing in the world, but I'm still probably going to lose. Or who knows, maybe I'll actually do well. Ari has been telling me to get out of the small bubble I'm in and have more confidence in myself, which easier said than done. What time is it? Oh crap, I'm gonna be late. Record day 32, July 22nd, 2022. Luna, tomorrow is it, Ari? Yeah, says Ari. All this work, and the first test will be done soon. I'm so excited, says Ari. Luna says, we aren't done yet though. We still got to go through the test. Oh, don't be a buzzkill. You know it's gonna go well. You're right. The only way to test it is tomorrow, says Luna. Heck yeah, says Ari. Tape ends here. Luna, it isn't worth putting in a day 33. Luna gets up from the chair she was sitting on and looks outside through the window looking at the Moonlight faction. So this is it then. Tomorrow is the 5-year anniversary of that day and the last day here. So much loss. All due to my own failures. So much pain and suffering that I can't even feel anymore. I'll be back with you soon, Ari. Just one more day. Wow. All right, that was a fast one. Man, 2 chapters left. These are going to be some long chapters if there's only 2 left. My, oh my. Chapter 11, 30 hours remain. And I mean, they're probably going to be long because, well, granted, there might be more than 12 chapters, but there's still 10 songs left on this playlist. So we'll see how this gets divvied up. But regardless, we'll see what happens. I think she's looking for Ari. I don't think Ari died. I think she got, something. I think she just went missing. Is at least what I interpreted from it. If Luna's saying, I'll be back with you soon, I assume that means that they'll just find her. "20% of the pages to thank everyone." We'll see. Nah, it's good so far. I like it. I'm curious on how it'll be. 30 hours remain. We'll see how the story unfolds. We'll see how the story unfolds. But okay, we're getting there, guys. Might as well just keep it going. We're a little bit over 2 hours at this point, and I'd say maybe we got another hour to hour and a half to go, depending on how we do. But yeah, we're kind of cooking. Okay, let's make it happen. Maybe Luna meant she thinks she'll die soon. Maybe. It could happen. I don't know how it'll all shape out. But we got 2 chapters to figure it out. All right, chapter 11 is called Trial in the Downpour, and this is going to be Sonic Lost World OST Sea Bottom Segway. Okay. All right. "What do you need, Apollo?" Luna closed the computer and turned off the VHS player she was using. I'm sorry to disturb, madam, but it seems like one of us is missing. What do you mean, missing, says Luna. We've lost all contact with Artemis, and his tracker seems to be destroyed, says Apollo. Interesting. Normally, I'd send a search party, says Luna, but we have more pressing matters, Apollo. Apollo says, we shouldn't have to worry about them. They're untrained and can barely keep themselves together. Yes, in theory, they are of no threat, says Luna, especially with the rogue armor, but they are still a threat. Why is that, says Apollo? We can deal with them. Why even bother monitoring them if we can go jump them now? Luna says, you should know better than even taking that risk when we're this close is an incomprehensible move. All we need is 24 hours and then we'll be done with it all. Right, says Apollo. Should have expected that from our own stone-cold queen. Is that really what people still call me here, says Luna? I haven't shown my face in public since the late mayor died. Your demeanor doesn't change, says Apollo. I don't blame the public for being a bit detached. Let's move on, says Luna. As you wish. Luna says they're probably planning their final attack. So I want everyone in on high alert. If one of them sneaks in, they can ruin our plans under our noses. I'll gather everyone at 5 a.m. tomorrow, says Luna. In 6 hours then. All right. We'll wake everyone up at 4 a.m. and get it ready. For now, it's time to sleep. Good. I'll be ready to hear from you tomorrow, says Luna. Apollo leaves the room and shuts the door, leaving Luna by herself. 30 hours left. I wonder what happened to him. Hopefully he isn't late in the end. No, I shouldn't think it returned. The wall should have kept it out. Not like it will matter in 30 hours. It should all be over soon. Escape says, something feels off. Escape looks around. He arrives at a hotel in the middle of the new fortress. Looking around, he notices the extra amount of rubble in this area. And an odd-looking stick in a nearby building. Odd, said Escape. He feels a raindrop hit his shoulder as he looks up and sees that clouds have started to form around him. Well, says Escape, I guess the hotel's right there. There's no need to worry about it for now. Suddenly, a crash happens in the building, watching pillars crumble before him. Well, says Escape, maybe I should inspect it before that thing crumbles. Maybe it will have something good. Escape approaches the building as the rain starts pouring down, taking shelter in what remains of the ceiling. Escape says, all right, now where was that funny-looking stick? Escape looks around and spots what he was looking for, a Lunar Force branded sword, still looking as sharp as ever. Lunar Force, says Escape. Isn't that the group that just tried to kill us? Escape picks up the sword and looks around for anything else. He spots some weird black goo as it slowly moves away after he looks at it. That's definitely not normal, says Escape. Escape moves towards the black goo as he watches it move away. He turns the corner to find what appears to be a man in a blue breeze force suit, collapsed on the floor unconscious, slowly bleeding out. Whoa, wait. Escape thought to himself, these are the enemy, right? Should I just leave him here? Before he could finish the thought, the man slowly held himself up, standing by a thread. Hello? Oh God, it hurts. Hello? Are you okay, says Escape? By this point, the rain had fully started to downpour on massive levels, making it hard to hear much. Did it leave? Did what leave, sir, says Escape? It? You haven't seen it. You must think its game is finished. What is it, says Escape? That creature. It kills for sport. It shouldn't have even gotten its way in here. At least, that's what it told me. Whoa, back up. We need some context, says Escape. Right, I haven't even told you my name. Artemis of the Lunar Force. Well, it won't be for much longer. Escape says, so you are a Lunar Force member. Artemis says, you must be Escape, right? Crap, he knows my name. So much for anonymity. Right, but currently, that's not important. Artemis says, not like I'd be able to do much in this condition. On the right side, it'll be all over soon. I don't like the way you worded that, says Escape. Say, you ever had someone you care about? What would be the lengths you would go to see them just one last time? Artemis coughed up a bit more blood and fell down. Escape went to rush over, but hesitated in actually picking him up. Imagine knowing someone was deceased for years, but seeing them once as sunset fell. How would you feel? Probably overjoyed, says Escape. Silent. Artemis says, this creature, it preys on this weakness. It showed me her, and then sprung its opportunity to attack. I held it off as much as I could, but in the end, here I am. What is this creature, says Escape? I don't know. All I know is what it said. You won't be able to erase me. You couldn't even keep me out of here for that long. I didn't know what it was talking about, but clearly it knows something more than I do. So it just left you up to bleed, to Escape? It destroyed all forms of communication, then put me here, says Artemis. But why are you telling me all this? Ain't I the enemy? Escape says, Lunar Force has been slowly splitting with our new management. There's a lot I'd have to explain for this to make sense, though. And at the state of things, I don't think I'd have that time. Splitting, says Escape. Plenty of things, says Artemis. A dead member being replaced too quick. Projects some of us don't agree with. Starting from our original goal. Damn it, we used to just be people who helped around the faction and did plays. Now we put ourselves at risk just for what? An unnamed machine that will fix everything? Artemis started coughing a bit more, interrupting his sentence. Sorry. No, it's fine. Continue, says Escape. What do you value, S? Huh? What's your goal, says Artemis. What's my goal? That's a good question. What am I doing? I don't know. I went on this journey to help my friend get his cousin back, but after all this, after what this team has done, I want to help Gabe, but not them, if you understand what I mean. What am I doing? I understand why they stayed, but I can't stay there. Even though I want to help. Not with them there. Not with him there. Artemis says, maybe. You don't need the team. You still want to help your friends. Help them on the sidelines. What do you mean, said Escape? Artemis says, I had someone I wasn't able to protect. I regret that deeply. I don't think how we're going about this will solve anything. We still have hope left, and that's a damn good thing to see. Artemis took the gloves off and helmet and gave it to Escape. You're giving this to me? You've strayed too far. You remind me of the reason I started this. None of us are bad people at heart. At least that's what I believe. Please, live on this legacy of what we were meant to be, not what we've become. Titan is in the same boat. Use the glove to enter and grab the replacement suit in my room. End this cycle and restore the peace to the Moonlight faction. Escape looked at him as he put on the helmet and gloves. He kneeled down to look him in the eyes. I promise. I'll see it through to the end, says Escape. He waited for a reaction before realizing he went still. He picked up the coat on the ground and walked out in the rain, knowing what he must do next. Woo! Okay. Chapter 11 is done. A very Escape-heavy chapter. Escape found Artemis, who's not dead, but he might as well be. The story was finished. Yeah. Yeah, this one's been... Yeah, V's had it done for a little bit, but we were able to get to it just now. It was just poor timing because I think right around the time he had finished, I just finished reading Mudkip's lore, and I was like, okay, I need a nice long break from lore before I get back to another one. So yeah, but we're here. We're reading it and we're pushing through. And there's a chance I made a cameo. I don't know. I mean, maybe at this point. I mean, we're in chapter 12. I don't know. I assume we already have every character that we know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Don't let Titan fall to the dark side. I don't know what Titan's up to. We'll see. It's not your bad, Mudkip. It's not your bad. It's just that's just when I decided to read your lore. It was just poor timing. This is the last chapter, and there's still 9 songs to play. Holy. Is this song gonna be 9 chapters long? Or this chapter? Ay. Well, we'll get through it one way or another. Okay. Here we go. Woo! Chapter 12. Reality of the Delusional. This is Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Aurora area. This is the base. One final day to get him back. I'll prove my worth here and now. Escape enters the door and heads upstairs and looks for Artemis's room. As he's looking around, he gets interrupted by someone behind him. Paul says, "There you are, Artemis. Where were you? The team was starting to get worried, and your communication device wasn't responding. Crap. My voice is only somewhat similar to Artemis's. I'll have to bluff here. Sorry. During recon, I got attacked by a seemingly hurt person. They got away, and I didn't want to pursue. They destroyed my device in the process. I got caught in the rain and started feeling a bit ill, so I decided to pick up some cold medicine just in case. Well, I guess it's a decent enough of an excuse. Just make sure you're ready and not sick when we arrive at the meeting room, says Apollo. Will do, says Artemis. Apollo left the room as Escape was able to spot the entrance of Artemis's room. Phew, it went better than I expected, but this is only the start. Escape grabs the outfit and puts it on. He proceeds to look at what gadgets he has. Interesting. I'll have to test these out later. Well, I have to fight at least. Escape hears a knock at the door. He presumes it's Apollo and goes to answer it. He opens the door to see Apollo. Calling it. Time to go. The final day is among us. Final day? All right, I'll be out here, says Artemis. I don't know how I'll do this. I don't know how I'll win, but I'll have to. For Simon, Gabe, and Jesse. Escape walked with Apollo as he knocked on the doors of the remaining 2 members. He first stopped at a door named Athena and knocked on it. For the strawberry, I know, I would like the strawberry banana smoothie, but you know, if you got them all, then fair enough. Apollo says, time to get up, Athena. You know the day has arrived. An orange-haired woman popped out the door, clearly still tired. Athena says, you know, you can warn me about this 24 hours before. Like, let me grab my helmet. She closed the door to the room and returned with a pink helmet and outfit on. All right, it's just Titan, right? Titan, yes, says Apollo. All right, let's go get the slowpoke before he complains about being tired, says Athena. Right, that's who I need to be looking for as well. No need, says Titan. The group turned to see Titan already dressed and awake, standing in the hallway. Oh, that was convenient. Titan sent a glance over to Artemis, who sent a thumbs up back to him. I just have to hope he trusts him, not being the same person. Well, if that's everyone, we have to meet with the madam now, says Apollo. Madam? Why so formal? All right, lead the way. The group walks to an elevator and presses the basement floor. They stand in silence as they wait for them to reach it. As the door opens, they walk out into a hallway. A couple of high-profile guards stand there but don't say anything, with their heads bowed. This feels eerie. I don't like this vibe. Escape turned to see Titan also having a more stressed body language, while Apollo stood straight and Athena walked perfectly. Whatever is behind that door, I don't think will be good. Apollo opened the door, revealing a large lab filled with technology. And at the center of it, a ruby and an odd machine. Ruby's here? I hope that doesn't mean... No, get it out of your head. He looked forward and saw a woman and saw a very tall hooded figure next to her. Despite what should be a big moment for her, she didn't appear to be smiling at all. She seemed rather neutral. As you know, today is a big day for us. Today we set the world back on its course. What does she mean by that? Everything that has been robbed from us, we shall take back. Friends we lost, family, lovers maybe. The world as a whole shall be reset. Reset? She doesn't mean. Reset? Does this imply any sort of time travel, Luna? I was getting to it, Titan. Not really a form of time travel, more a merging of dimensions. She wants to merge dimensions? Is she insane? Has she not read any science fiction book ever? In theory, this machine shall make it so nothing of this timeline ever happened. We as people should have our memories reverted to where our selves should have been 6 years ago. A merging of souls. A merging of souls. How does that work, says Athena. We have to find a parallel universe, says Luna, a universe that is like our own. We can track it using frequencies using this machine back here. Using that, we need to input the frequency into the Ruby stabilizer. And after its long 12-hour process, it will fully... Suddenly an alarm went blaring, declaring intruders had arrived. Gosh, they pick as we're talking to arrive? What inconvenient pests. Now sit back here. You four go deal with them. Dead or alive, doesn't matter. We'll all emerge anyways. Titan and Athena, you take the left side. Artemis and Apollo, you take the right. Of course. Titan bumped into Artemis, who found himself with a note on his hand as he walked off. He left the lab before he read it. Frequency 55.4 on your comms device. Make sure no one is there when talking. Well, it seems like either way, win or lose, this will be the end. Oh, 1 hour earlier. Here we go. Back to Persona 4. All these Persona tracks I have, at one point in time, I've had in my Mario Kart Wii custom music pack, which is hilarious. All right, I think we're good. Gabe looked at the rest of the Moonlight Factions area since it was normally walled off, so you couldn't believe how nice it looked. It looks so nice. The vegetation's in control. The colors are nice for being the bad guys. They sure do have their stuff in order. Sparky says, looks can be deceiving. Clearly, they kept the people happy here, even if it was at the expense of total warfare outside. Ray says, almost looks like they took the inspiration from the Chinatown segment of New York, except with a lot more colors in their lamps and less Chinese cultural objects. So basically, they took the China out of Chinatown, says Fires. Yeah, pretty much, says Ray. Well, I could say something about this, says Firestone, but honestly, that's not why we're here. Let's just double check everything is on different positions of the wall, says Sparky. On east, on west, on south, already hiding in a bush up north, says Ray. We got here 10 minutes ago. How did you already do that? It's much easier to find a path when you have a small hand-sized drone scouting the entire area, says Ray. All right, 20 minutes then. Let us know when our paths are ready. All right then, says Firestone. So it's just a waiting game from now on, says Sparky. Pretty much, says Ray. Firestone, what's coming from your mic, says Sparky. Oh, I booted up TikTok. Okay. All right, Marioshi. I see. TikTok stayed alive longer than YouTube? Who's hosting these servers? No idea, Gabe. No idea, says Firestone. 3:40 a.m. All right. Ray, it's go time. All three jump down of the wall and parachute down, starting by running across rooftops. All right, remember the plan, says Sparky. Firestone, not like we have much of one, other than rushing at different angles. Well, and don't be shot, says Ray. Easier said than done. I have drones following everyone currently, says Ray. If there's any danger, they should work as a mini shield. Why do you get the cool stuff and I get a trank gun and a combat knife? I've said this before, says Sparky, but I base our kits on our personalities. Apparently, Giant Hammer is a personality trait, now, says Firestone. Hey, personally, I don't understand why you used that thing earlier, says Sparky. Isn't this supposed to be serious? Why are we doing this as... Whoa, we're being shot at. Good point, everyone. Hey, lock the... Oh, I appear surrounded, says Ray. Looks around him, seeing 2 helicopters and 4 guards around him, says Ray. Oh no, Ray looks around him, seeing 2 helicopters and 4 guards around him. Hey, gonna need those drones back now. Firestone says, and that's what you get for shouting. Oh, shut up, Yoshimi, says Ray. Ray arranges the drones and swaps them to creation mode. He pulls out a side pistol and shoots at the guards as he signals his drones to make a square, shattering the propellers of the helicopters. He then calls them back and shields himself from incoming fire as he fires back. Turning his drone into attack mode, he looks 2 guards and throws them up in the air and shoots the other 2. 20 seconds, new record, says Ray. Show off, says Sparky. With that performance, maybe I need to hire your light show skills for a birthday party, says Firestone. I feel very out of place in this dynamic. Yeah, that sounds about right. Gabe and Sparky arrive at the skyscraper leading to this area. Well, at least you guys gave us all grappling hooks, if you can use them, says Sparky. Oh, please, watch me. Gabe grapples onto the corner of the... Oh, propelling... Oh, that was supposed to be a different thing. Okay, Gabe grapples onto the corner of the building, propelling himself up. He's doing that quite well, says Sparky. Gabe watches as he realizes somehow someone's getting closer, as Apollo rushes out of the window, shattering it and grabbing Gabe, having them both fall 40 feet into the floor. Sparky, I hope you have something to counter this. Well, thank goodness for portable crash pads, says Sparky. Sparky throws a crash pad onto where they are falling, bouncing them back up 20 feet. Not helping. You're making this moment less climactic. Shut up, says Apollo. Apollo lets go and tries to punch Gabe, but he misses as Gabe rebounds on the crash pad and he breaks it with his punch. Now, where did they go? Did he really jump that? The stairs I go, says Artemis. You could have just died in that explosion, but no, you had to come back and become an annoyance against Apollo. Oh, okay. Dropping the heroic act, Apollo. Dropping the edgy look, Sparky, says Apollo. Really get on my nerves, says Sparky. Good. That's exactly what I want to do, says Apollo. Gabe tries hitting him with the combat knife from behind before having it bounce off his armor without doing a scratch. That still doesn't work. Did you learn nothing from last time, says Apollo. Apollo grabs Gabe and chucks him at Sparky, who just deflects him with a kick, halting his momentum. That was not necessary. I see the green jacket doesn't mean you prefer peace, says Apollo. I see that tacky armor doesn't mean you're sunshine and rainbows. I see that your comeback game fell off, says Apollo. Damn it, he's right, says Sparky. Well, anyways, Sparky throws a smoke grenade at Apollo and tosses 3 grenades into the air around him. Let's cut to the chase and make this a fair fight, shall we, says Sparky? As the grenades blow up around Apollo, Artemis comes in and kicks Sparky off the roof he's on. Well, that took forever, says Artemis, but now I can finally get my revenge on you. Oh, please, doesn't every member of the Lunar Force have a bone to pick on me in particular? Your personality doesn't help, says Artemis. Apollo gets up with his destroyed armor, shrugging the explosion off. Not like I need this, I can take you down by myself without it, says Apollo. Darn it, why did I get big guy over here? If only I had Jared's Gabe. I hope the others are doing better than me than fighting the Trunks wannabe with dual pistols, says Sparky. This will definitely be an uphill battle, that's for sure. It seems like chaos has erupted over here. Any thoughts, Firestone, says Ray? Firestone says, as long as they're occupied, we can get in without hassle. We'll just have to help them later. Right, let's go, says Ray. The other 2 use their grappling hook to break into the building from the top floor, neutralizing any guards in their path using drones and Firestone's hammer. Ray says, according to the map, the area we need to get to get to is downstairs. The cells are for the other two. So why did we go up the buildings this Firestone? Because you know security is going to be more tight where we can enter. All right, that makes sense, this Firestone. Suddenly, the floor below them gets shattered as both fall onto the next floor. Athena says, nice one, Titan. Now, let's knock him into the next tomorrow. Titan didn't say anything. He just activated his fists with his head down. Ray says, seems like we're in a bit of a pickle. Byron says, we're not like we haven't been here before. Drones, barrier, now, says Ray. The drones above them make a wall blocking the first attacks of the two, allowing Firestone and Ray to get up. Ray says, it's going to take a lot more than brute strength to beat that one. Firestone says, and it's going to take a lot more to beat us. Quick, Titan, break the ground, says Athena. Titan obliges and punches the floor, collapsing it, but Ray sends his drones and makes the floor beneath them. Ha! How do you like that? Wait, already realizing your own stupidity, says Athena. Titan charges in at Ray as Athena shoots bows and arrows from afar. Firestone heads in to block the attack by tripping Titan, but gets hit by a shot by Athena. Ah, says Firestone. Firestone, brace yourself, says Ray. Ray signals the drones to move up, sliding the door in a way that trips up the lunar force to fall. Using his opportunity, Ray recalls his drones and kicks Titan, while Firestone uses his chance to hit Athena's legs with hammers, shattering it. Yikes! Did not think it would do that much damage. Wait, that's not what, says Firestone? So that's why she... Oh, interesting. Things have spiced up a bit more, says Ray. Sparky says, your sword slashes are weak. It's almost like you're not trying to fight. Oh. Sparky sees himself surrounded by 10 duplicates of Artemis, all looking identical to the last. You were leading me, says Sparky. Artemis says, and now you have to pick which ones are real. Atone for your sins as the fog arrives all the same. As he says it, a fake fog settles in, obscuring Sparky's sense even more. You continue this justice charade like you're better than me? You know you aren't part of this group, says Sparky. Artemis kicks him from behind. He fires, but there's no one there. Show yourself, coward, says Sparky. There's other ways to fight other than being reckless, Sparky, says Artemis. Artemis comes out of the fog with an uppercut to the side before quickly disappearing. The footsteps started getting faster as Sparky tries to reveal his location. You could try to run, but you know you won't be able to. Your ego won't allow that, says Artemis. Sparky catches a glimpse of Artemis and fires, but it ends up being a mirage as the real Artemis kicks him from behind. Artemis says, but what are you expecting? You can't even get a grip on your own life, let alone the world around you? As Sparky struggles to get up, he gets kicked while he's down, leaving him on the floor screaming in pain. Now you know how it feels to be the one on the floor, stuck, feeling like there's no way to get up after trying to save someone. But what do I know after all, says Artemis. The fog clears up and Artemis grabs Sparky by the shirt and holds him up. It only takes a baby to throw a flash grenade, doesn't it, says Artemis. Artemis pulls a flash grenade and has it hit both of them and then throws Sparky off the roof where they were fighting into the garden below. We'll call that even, says Artemis. Artemis walks away from the fight, leading himself back to Gabe and Apollo as they duel it out. I should have known. Ray, Firestone, and Titan look at Athena after seeing that her leg wasn't bleeding at all. It was robotic. I always wondered how she replaced a member so quickly, says Titan. You were a robot. She probably already had you at the funeral of Scarlet. Robot or not, we still have these punks to deal with, Titan, so be a good boy and kill them, says Athena. It's showtime, Artemis. What? Titan says, this gives me every reason to not trust you or her anymore. I'm sick and tired of hurting people when the goal is to help them. And yet here you are, made as a weapon. After all the good and will Scarlet did, everything we did together just for what? This resetting all of reality? What, says Ray? Whoa, says Firestone. This isn't how I'll go out. This world isn't perfect, but it won't take another universe just to see her again, says Titan. I'll consider this hostile then. I'll let Luna, says, you won't have the chance, says Titan. Titan quickly smashes the robotic face of Athena, destroying it permanently. This is how it has to be. We're finishing this tonight, says Titan. So, like, are we allies, or says Firestone? Yes, for now. We'll call ourselves allies. Ray says, all right, do you have another name I can call you by? Because I refuse to call you by Titan on this team. My name's Tyler, but you can call me the man, says Titan. Nope, calling you T-Main instead. All right, yo, lore drop. That's crazy. T-Main was part of that opposite time the whole time. Craziness. Man. All three enter the elevator and T-Main presses the button for the first floor, closing the elevator doors. T-Main says, I hope you're ready, because we're going to have to fight our way out of this one. Ray says, oh boy, more guards. Firestone says, where are you guys even getting this many from? T-Main says, no idea, but it allows me to punch something else. He's just another escape, I swear. Who's this T-Main? It's showtime, Artemis. Hell yeah! Artemis approaches the fight between Gabe and Apollo as Gabe dodges away between his attacks. Gabe, can you stop punching this much? Where do you even get the energy for this? Apollo says, you train enough and stamina isn't a problem. Gabe bounces off a wall and dodges a punch where Apollo gets his hand stuck. What? Why is the wall so strong? Check your leg, buddy. Apollo looks down to see that he had been hit by 3 tranquilizing bullets on his left leg, weakening him. Apollo says, you used my adrenaline against me to weaken me. Clever. Very clever. Unfortunately, you didn't account for one thing. Apollo points at Artemis behind Gabe. Sparky lost? Damn it, says Gabe. Apollo says, a shame, really. I wanted to kill him myself. Artemis rushes towards Gabe with his blade drawn, and Gabe quickly pulls his pocket knife to fight back, but Artemis vanishes. Crap! His mirages! His mirages! Gabe turns behind him, but sees something he wasn't expecting. As a cold wind blows near him, he sees Artemis on top of Apollo's shoulders with a tranquilizer stabbed into the back of Apollo's head. Artemis. What? Apollo collapses, passed out as Artemis drops down with him, staring at Gabe. I don't understand. It seems like you finally won one, Gabe, says Artemis. But why? Because that isn't Artemis. Sparky walks out of the backyard, covered in leaves and twigs in his hair. I noticed he wasn't going for the kill, which he could have easily done. Instead, he used kicks and punches to keep me down, says Sparky. Sparky says his talking was too personable to be related to the battle from about a year ago, so with only one thought left. This is escape. Artemis takes off his mask, revealing just that. I was wondering why you didn't shoot wildly during that. You were almost playing too safe. I presume the knockdown struggle was an act as well. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that, says Sparky. Either way, the path is clear. We know what we gotta do. And look, Escape points at the rising sun, meaning it's been 3 hours. Escape says, we aren't going to let this be our last sunrise, are we? We're going to get in there and finish this before they revoke this dimension entirely. We are ready. Yeah. Wait, what? We're heading inside now, says Sparky. No, we aren't going to talk about that. Okay. All right, then. The 3 head inside to the building where they meet the other 3 there, next to about a dozen passed out guards. Well, presumably. Great. Another, says Sparky. No. He's on our side. Relax with the guns, man. T-Main. Oh, right. I haven't introduced myself yet. My name's Tyler, but you can call me just call him T-Main, says Ray. Man, you guys are no fun, says T-Main. So, what's the plan now? Apparently, Simon is in the lab, says Firestone, so we are going to have to fight our way there to get to him. I have to ask, were you Artemis the entire time, Escape? No, says T-Main. The original was a good friend of mine. We planned this for a while before then. He told me when they were planning what we were doing one last time, I'll process my grief later. For now, I need to get through this. It would have been what he wanted. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's fine. We just have to finish this, says T-Main. T-Main and Escape put back on their helmets and power up their tools as T-Main activates the elevator. All 6 of them fit in and press the basement button. How long will this elevator take, says Firestone? Like 5 minutes, says T-Main. Man, that's long, says Sparky. You ever notice that we haven't had a single woman on this team since Escape? Are we ever going to remove the arrow from Firestone's shoulder, says Sparky? I don't have a bandage and I'm keeping it in rather well, says Firestone. I've had bandages this entire time. Oh, well, gimme, says Firestone. Did you just say gimme, says Ray? Yes, and now so did you, says Firestone. Damn it, he's right, says Ray. T-Man says, I would think you guys would take this more seriously, considering the end of the world. Escape says, honestly, cannot tell when this group is serious or not. I think they're starting to lighten up now. Is that bandage in good, Fi? Yeah, I think, says Firestone. You know, it's been about 30 hours since anyone's called me that. Sparky says, so now I'm just holding a bloody arrow. Escape says, be careful with that. You hit someone in the neck with that, and they'll become a stand user. Sparky says, I've watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, now I must make a JoJo's joke. When does this thing end? Legally obligated line to add is hilarious. T-Main says, approximately now. All right, next song is Spoilers versus Morpho Knight from Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Cool. All right. See what happens. Okay, this is spoilers to me because I've never played Kirby in the Forgotten Land, but honestly, I'll probably forget about all this. I don't know how this relates, but maybe one day I'll play this game on stream if you guys want to see me play it. I don't even have it, but I could play it sometime. All right. Anyways, let's keep it going. Yo, the game everyone should play. What's up, Ritz? The Kirby Forgotten Land music has summoned Ritz games back in, just like the JoJo's reference summoned Lemon Jello. Good times. All right. The doors open with a chilling silence. No one is in the hallway but one. A hooded figure holding a sword, towering over the light in the room. Whoa, that's ominous. Firestone says, the rogue armor. This should be our final fight. Watch for the hands. Ray says, unless you want to be turned into red mush. Teammate says, it's a 6v1. I don't care who this is or how strong his armor is. It's going down now. Disappointing, says Rogue. The rogue armor busts its heads into the flame, burning the coat, giving an orange light to the burning hallway. That thing has pyrokinesis, says Firestone. Sparky says, looks more like a flamethrower. Watch out either way. The rogue armor slowly walks towards the group and teammate rushes it and hits it with a dynamo punch. The rogue armor blocks it and swipes him away with his hands. What? Not even Apollo's armor can block that. Sparky and Firestone grapple towards him. Excuse me. And deliver a kick to Rogue's helmet. It doesn't even flinch at the full force kicks. Instead points its flamethrower at the two, requiring them both to unhook and fall to the floor to avoid it. There they run out of the way as the rogue armor tries to stop them. Our attacks aren't doing anything, says Sparky. This thing's practically invincible, says Firestone. Nothing's invincible, says Ray. We've knocked it down once, we'll knock it down again. Right, you think those drones and my mirages can merge into a Trix's escape? I like that idea, says Ray. Escape sends 9 duplicates and himself towards the armor, while Ray hides his drones in the duplicates. Sparky says, you can't just stand there and watch. Come on, you three. Gabe, throw that flash grenade. On it. Gabe throws a flash grenade as Firestone, Sparky, and teammate rush towards the armor. It deflects the flash grenade, sending it back at Gabe as it readies its flamethrower back up to eliminate the dupes. Sparky, and Firestone use their grappling hooks, go around its feet, wrapping it up and causing it to fall. Teammate that jumps and crushes its flamethrower. Escape says, all right, Ray, now! The clones disappear as the drones line up in a perfect shot. They make 2 lines of concentrated light through the shoulders of the armor as they pin it down. Ray says, not as invincible as it seems. Nothing can block pure light. Rogue, speechless. Escape says, now, teammate! The two use their fists to sword and attack the helmet of the armor and tries resisting, shaking its body off to try and get them off. Teammate says, standing here, I realize. I don't know what song that's referencing, but Escape says, not the time. Teammate says, sorry. Escape says, let's finish this once and for all. The rogue breaks out its light constraints and throws the 2 off of them. Ray says, that thing just broke freaking light. Sparky says, how's that possible? Firestone says, we're in trouble. Escape says, you think? Is this the time to be doing this? Teammate says, look out. Oh, it's Metal Gear Rising? Oh, interesting, okay. The rogue armor swings its sword horizontally, causing everyone to have to dodge in different ways. Teammate punches it backwards, causing it to get stuck in the wall. The rogue armor just grabs the entire wall off of its foundation and swings it at the group, causing Firestone and teammates to have to break it before it hits anyone. Ray says, well, at least we have a bit more room opened up, even if that room is full of storage. Wait, we can use that? Gabe and Sparky rush over as the other 4 continue to keep the armor occupied. Escape says, well, while they do that, what now? Ray says, it seems to have a robotic exterior. Get rid of its legs, it should theoretically win. And then says, is it just me or does that thing seem to be getting warmer? Steam starts releasing from the armor as it starts moving faster. Escape says, that thing must be overclocking its speed. It must go and move fast. Ray says, hold on. Ray uses the 4 drones and makes a wall in an attempt to block its rush. It uses its sword and slices through the light, stopping it momentarily from the knockback. Ray says, what force is it using to do that? Ray calls back his drones and they all run out of the way from the incoming attack. Teammate punches its leg, but it doesn't react and instead kicks him into the wall. Using some of the tech they found, Gabe and Sparky shoot at it, but just reflects off of it. Sparky says, everyone, look out! Sparky throws in an odd-looking grenade as the rest duck away. The rogue armor catches it and gets an ice-cold expansion that blows up the inside. Firestone says, the heck was that? Sparky says, I presumed there might be some other things here revolving elements. And you remember the best way to crack a safe, don't you? Through cryo. Oh, it's genius, says Ray. As I am, says Sparky. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, says Escape. We now have a way to easily attack it, though. Everyone attack the exposed arm. Gabe and Ray shoot at the internal machinery as Escape distracts with mirages of himself. Ray sets up the drone around the armor's feet, and teammate and Firestone holds the sword back. Ray says, it's over. Firestone and teammate jump as the light platform cuts the rogue armor's robotic legs off. As it drops its sword, it realizes the battle's lost. No, says Rogue. Ray and Firestone jump in joy of the victory. Sparky stands and watches with a smirk. And Escape goes for a fist bump for teammate, but he realizes something is wrong as he's looking down at his feet. All right, let's open the bad boy up and see who's inside so we can peacefully knock them out. Escape says, let me, Gabe. You aren't going to be able to get it off with just your hands. All right, that's true, says Gabe. Escape grabs the sword and starts pulling up the mask. Eventually, after pushing hard enough, it pops up. All right, Buster. What? Says Escape? No, it can't be. But why? T-Main is speechless. Why Simon? Out of everyone, why the person I trust most? The person I trusted even with my life. And he's been trying to kill me the entire time? How is it fair, damn it? Why? Why him? Simon says, who are you? What? Project Rogue had a brainwashing procedure attached to it, says T-Main. And you didn't tell us? Well, what was I supposed to say? Oh, your cousin's brainwashing is actively trying to kill us. Do you think I want to be the person to break that news? I don't know. What was even the point of all this? What was the point? The person I've spent the past week trying to help is brainwashed over here trying to kill us, and I just have to deal with it? It's just a part of this? Gabe, says Fire Yoshi. Or Fireson. I don't know who did this to you. I don't know why. All I know is when I find them, I'm going to kill them myself. Gabe storms into the next room with rage as the group runs after him. Bro didn't react to the plot twist at all. Listen, I'm just going through. It's a crazy plot twist. I mean, Simon being the rogue it's pretty crazy. I can't lie. My apologies. I was just kind of, I was trying to see through I was trying to get through the entire conversation, and now I'm getting into now I'm walking into the room with Luna. I didn't have time to stop and contemplate, but yeah, no, it's a pretty good one. I mean, so it makes sense. So I guess Rogue never really existed. It was Simon that was just in a robotic rogue in a way. Very interesting. Yes, my apologies for I tend to naturally have just a lack of reaction, I guess, when it comes to these lores, so I apologize. But in general, as I just kind of like fly through the chapters in a way, just in effort to preserve my voice. But yes, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good one. Did we get 20 likes on the stream? Oh wow, we did. That's amazing. Appreciate you guys. Let's get a rave command cooking. There we go. There we go. There we go. Appreciate that. Let's go. Rogue being a robot version of Rogue. Yeah, that theory is now debunked. It is now debunked. Okay, back to the story. Luna. Was the Rogue not enough? Gabe fires at Luna, who quickly dodges out of shock. Luna says, and that's what I get for trying a monologue. Luna presses a button and a suit instantly gets attached to her. It has a black, sleek design with sharp corners and spikes on her hands. Luna says, in approximately 8 hours, everything will be at rest. It will be painless, just like transferring yourself over a network. Why stop a way for the world to return to normal? Your plan is to erase lives for your own gain. Doesn't matter if it's for everyone. It's still wrong, says Escape. Right, says Luna. You two decided to betray me. Disappointing. You sound insane. Can you blame us, says T-Main? If I have to be the only person here to defend what I've worked 6 years to do, I'll gladly oblige. And now we are going to Undefeatable from Sonic Frontiers. Cool. Here's the thing. Okay, now we're at the final phase of the boss, I think. I think so. Yeah. The next song is not a boss theme, it looks like. So this is final fight time now. Final fight time. We might have a little bit of a, resolution arc, but here we go. Things get crazy. Luna says, just know, we are not on the same level. I oblige for y'all to jump me at once. Just so it's a fair fight. Welcome to the mind of a different guy. Oh man, good stuff. Sparky says, he just took out your ultimate weapon. I don't think we'll have much of a problem. Luna throws 8 orbs into the air where they expand into small drones. She then makes 6 mirages of everything, including the drones. You recreated my own Texas Ray? Well, I wasn't able to recreate the concentrated light in 2 days. That would take me weeks upon months without having your blueprints. But they should work effectively in every other way. I did include one extra feature, though. Fireson charges at Luna and misses due to a mirage. He gets tasered by a drone and kicks the real Luna off of the platform. She then gives a signal for 4 of the other drones to start going after Ray's drone. Luna says, I'll give you one more chance to return to my side. I wouldn't want to kill one of my allies, Titan. If you think I'm returning to you, you're delusional, says T-Man. Well, I've been down this road before. it'll be the same as Scarlet and Whims them, says Luna. What? His teammate? Ray says, drones head into attack mode. The drones go from creation mode and into attack mode and start fighting back the other drones. Sparky says, we can't just stand here. Let's do this. Escaping Firesen says, right. Sparky starts firing at Luna, and Firesen starts running again, while Escape pulls a ton of mirages around the battlefield. Luna says, I guess you won't live long enough to learn the story. It's a shame that your team decided to attack before I told you. Luna deflects Sparky's shots and auto-locks on the real Escape and fires, hitting him directly. Teammate jumps at her, but she just hits him with the spike on her fist and throws him back down. Firesen swings at what appears to be the real Luna, but it's a drone instead, allowing her to sneak up behind him and backstab him as he tumbles down the stairs. 1 down, 5 to go, says Luna. Escape says, her kit seems to be made to beat all of our strengths. Ray says, Firesen, I'll make you pay for that. Sparky says, because in the end, we'll be the ones to carry on, not you. Teammate says, we'll find another way to get past her. She's not going to move from the machine, so why don't we use that? Sparky says, shoot, the platform she's on. If we break it, she'll have to come to us. Got it, says Ray. Suddenly, the platform collapses as her and the machine tumbles. Luna crashes down as she sees Gabe try to impale her with a metal pole. She grabs it and holds her ground. Remember me? So that's where you went. Smart, but not smart enough, says Luna. He throws Gabe into the air with the pole and signals her drones to shoot. Ray's drones get the upper hand with the new target and shoots them down before she can hit them. Damn it, says Luna. It's just her left. Now's our chances, Ray. All 4 jump into the electrical pit as Gabe lands on the floor outside. No, it won't end this way. I won't let it. Escape says, just face it, Luna. You're just an enemy. All 4 rush her. Spark uses his combat knives that she deflects while dodging teammates' punches. She hits Escape with a quick jab and dodges Ray's drone fire. You can't dodge forever, Luna, says Sparky. She runs away from as many attacks and deflects as much as she can, struggling to keep up with the 1v4. She eventually gets a good hit on Sparky and throws him away, but Ray blocks her escape with a wall created by the drones. It's over, Luna. Gabe jumps from the upper layer and tosses the metal pole into her knee, impaling through her leg, causing her to become immobile. She doesn't flinch from the pain, though. In fact, she doesn't even seem like she felt pain at all. This is for Simon, says Gabe. Gabe punches Luna in the gut as hard as he could. You can feel the armor shatter from just standing next to it. You feel joy from this. Gabe knees her in the gut again, shattering the armor. Does any of this matter to you? Any pain you've caused? Anything? Gabe punches her in the face, causing her to stagger a little as her mask breaks off. But she looks back at him with the same deadpan expression as she'd had on the entire time. No, I haven't. I physically can't, says Luna. Gabe, enraged by the response, jabs his knife into her shoulder, but she just gives the same deadpan stare she already was giving. Doing that does nothing. I physically can't feel anything. Gabe says, so you're just going to stand there? That's it? I have no need to move. Your attacks don't hurt, so why should I? But how? I lost my ability to feel pain, says Luna, or even feel emotions years ago. Only guilt remains. I have had a form of congenital insensitivity. My goodness, I don't know why that used up all my brain cells to just pronounce to pain ever since birth. The emotions being removed just happened later down the line due to the incident 6 years ago. The only thing keeping me is logic. Teammate says, what do you mean about whims and scarlets? Luna says, 5 years ago, we were talking about nature fiction. Whim considered Scarlet the sweet talker of the group, so she came along as the main guard and negotiator of the group. Eventually, we got the deal, and they gave us plenty of plans to put around the faction. I remember the conversation that followed all too well. Okay, wait, I apologize. There's more boss scenes, but looks like we're having a reflection moment first. The rest area from the All-Stars rest area from Melee. Okay, here we go. Whim says, Luna, do you remember how the wind felt? How the outside world has felt after all this time? Luna says, yes, I miss it dearly, but the safety of our people is worth the sacrifice. Whim says, look at this area. The lush green grass with the water flowing. They made rivers and greenhouses to support different foods. It's truly beautiful. Scarlet says, it truly is. I haven't seen this much beauty since I was in Tennessee. Whim says, it's really the only place like it. The lush outside, where birds are, and the ocean glitters. Yes, it was nice when it existed, says Luna. What I would do to see it again, says Scarlet. Sometimes I forget why we even have the walls up, just to keep one creature out, while all we do is sit here rotting away with our lives, says Whim. Let's see. Hang on, where was I? Luna says, well, I wouldn't say rotting. Look at us, we're still doing things that help people, right? Wim says, Luna, it's been a year since the walls went up. We haven't heard anything about its return. Why should we focus on what might be out there and focus on the now? Luna is speechless. I looked down, wanting to say something, but knowing once he had in his mind set on something, I wouldn't be able to stop it. Not that I could physically show it. Scarlet says, maybe we should. Life would be nice exploring again. Maybe we shouldn't let one moment of time define ourselves. Wim says, I agree. I think tomorrow we should do an announcement. We're disabling the walls. In that moment, I felt myself snap. For the first time, I felt something. Fear. Yeah, sure, says Luna. All right, let's go, Scarlet. We need to get back and make preparations for the announcement, says Wim. Scarlet says, maybe I should bring Tyler on the trip with me as sort of a romantic vacay. Bang! Before I even recognized it myself, I had shot her in the back of the head. Fear completely taking control of my thoughts. I felt the cold act fall on the floor as the bullet's piercing noise hit the floor. What did I just do? Everything I've done up to that point was meant to help people. And here I was taking the life of a coworker? They did nothing to me. They were nothing but kind to me, but with a split-second decision, they were one with the nature around them. Wim says, Luna, what the hell did you just do? I didn't hesitate during the second shot. I'm not sure why. Was it fear? Was it anger? Or was it resentment? Or something I had tried so hard to protect? Being completely disregarded by greed. I'll never truly know. The only thing I knew was the thud of the floor, the ocean sounds around me, and the fear I felt in that moment. I didn't know what to do. It was the only time logic wasn't enough. They're buried next to that lake somewhere, the remains of the bullets still on the sand, all because of one mistake. One mistake that can be resolved, says Luna. Titan, let the machine go through and leave those morals behind. She can be with you again. T-Main says her last sentence was talking about me? Her ambition was to go on a trip with me, to explore the world a little bit, and you stole that from her. Gabe was speechless. T-Main charges up a punch and winds it back. And you still want me to join you, pleading that you did nothing wrong? Well, I want to say this. Go to hell. T-Main swings with all his might as Luna injects something quickly into herself and takes the punch. Bam! The only thing you could hear was the punch and the drop of the body, with visible tears in T-Main's eyes. It's over. All we have to do is remove the ruby from the machine. It will take more than that to break me. And now, here we go. Oh, hello? Okay. An obstacle in our path from Xenoblade Chronicles. We getting Xenoblade OST now. All right. That was kind of sad. That was a little bit sad backstory. All right, I get it. So T-Main had this girl that was on Luna's team. Luna killed her. Luna killed Scarlet and Wim. And yeah, so now T-Main is trying to get his revenge. I respect it. I respect it. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this, we'll see what the climax of this has for us. Kinda. Listen, we've established that I don't got a soul. All right, we've established this. It's like, we're all desensitized to very dark and negative stories and stuff like that. Oh man. But hey, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. All right. The group watched as I'm sure Blur slept while watching. See, that's the thing. I cherry pick my things. I haven't. I actually don't think I've ever seen Titanic. So, I'm doing. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. I had a great night's sleep after watching Titanic. It was crazy. I'll let you guys know how I sleep after I watch Titanic for the first time. The group watches Luna somehow rose after the last attack. Luna says, I was worried this final gambit wouldn't work, but it seems like I'm still alive. Luna rushed over to Gabe and stabbed him in the chest and tossed him to the side. Oh boy, there I go. Luna says, you guys won't stop me. I can't be stopped. This road will go down so we can be free. Why must you be like this? Luna realized that she just felt emotion again and saw that her face was changing. I can feel things again. Yes, the first thing stolen away from me has returned. Ray says, Sparky and Escape, I need you to do something for me. Get out of here. I'm not about to leave you, says Sparky. That isn't a suggestion. Get Gabe and Firesen and get out, says Sparky. But, says Sparky, please. You need to trust me, says Ray. Sparky looked at Ray and then turned back to Escape. All right, says Sparky. The two jumped out of the pit and left with the two in their arms. What's your angle, Ray, says Luna. There is no angle, Luna, says Ray. It's simple. You have no advantage. Your armor is destroyed. I got a bone to pick with you. Luna says, but why must you, Ray? You and Firesen can live a happy little life in a brand new world. devoid of the pain and suffering you've endured. Teammate says, you're basing it off of a theory, and your theory's insane. You're talking about taking over people's bodies, living humans, says Teammate. Luna says, it's an unfortunate sacrifice. I've looked into other universes. They seem to have their own properties than ours. Universe 115 has anomalies just running around, doing things we couldn't even fathom with the technology here. Other universes like 212, where similar events have occurred, making the world a deserted wasteland with one man roaming around. Others like fantasy worlds like 413, where animals talk and they participate in races, but none fit like Universe 122, a parallel with our universe. You sound insane. Talking animals, says T-Main? Studying these theories and worlds is a fine line of insanity and truth, but I can assure you if you trust me, you'll be happy with Scarlet for life. Please trust me, Tyler, says Luna. T-Main hesitated for a second, looking at Luna's eyes. It's true that she truly believed in it all, and was making a genuine plea. After all this, he questioned himself for the first time. T-Main? I know it's tempting, says Ray. Think about what could go wrong if her theory is incorrect. Think about the lives of the others it will take if she is. T-Main says, why should I listen to the person who killed my fiance? As I told you, Luna. T-Main ready his fists as the dynamo knuckles turned on. You're insane. Luna stood there inside. She picked up the pipe that Gabe had used to stab her with and held it high as her hair fell down low. Consider me what you want. I don't need to win you over, says Luna. 10 minutes for the merger. The world started to shift a little as the area started to become a little hazy. Damn it, we're being stalled out, says Ray. Ray dashes towards the machine as Luna swipes at him, forcing him to keep distance. I won't let you get close, says Luna. I won't let you take away my chance of seeing her again. Ray grabs a drone and shapes the light as a sword and clashes it against the steel pole, splitting it in two. You can't take this away from me, says Luna. T-Main jumps and grabs Luna from behind, pulling her away. Luna stomps on his foot and breaks free. 7 minutes remaining. They could really feel the road shifting as the area around them started to shake and the light started to get brighter. We're running out of time. How are we going to shut this thing down, says Ray. Don't. We're so close. Can't you feel it? Our lives can change forever. So why won't you let us be happy, says Luna. T-Main rushed at her and blocked the pipe she attacked with. He then threw her towards the machine, hitting it on accident. T-Main, I found our way, says Ray. Great! What are we waiting for? How do we accomplish this, says T-Main. Ray looked at T-Main with a teardrop coming out of his eye. Ray, says T-Main. 5 minutes remaining. T-Main, I need you to run, says Ray. Ray, what are you planning, says T-Main. Luna got up and charged at Ray as he held back the metal pole. No, you can't take this away from me. I need to reconvene with her, says Luna. Before you go, T-Main, tell Fireson one thing. Ray, I'm not leaving. We gotta do this together, says T-Main. Ray pushes Luna off of him with a kick and sends her close to the machine. Tyler, I'm telling you to leave, and that's an order. Tell Fireson I'm sorry I have to do this to him, says Ray. Why do I need to tell him this, says T-Main. T-Main looks at the drones, forming a square around the hole he's in, and suddenly it all falls into place. 3 minutes remain. At this point, they're starting to hover off the ground, slightly floating. Ray, I didn't know you for long. Godspeed, my ally, says Ray, versus T-Main. T-Main left the area as Ray jumped out of the hole with the reduced gravity. What are you planning to do? You can't stop it at this point. Admitting defeat, says Luna. The past is behind us now. There's no reason to go back, says Ray. All we can do now is focus on everyone else's future. With tears coming down his eyes, he pressed a button on his glove to signal the drones to make a platform, going directly through the machine and detonating everything and everyone around it in a 10-mile radius. I'm sorry, Fireson. I wish I could have said goodbye there and then. I know this could have been better for us all if we took it and dealt with the guilt. But you and me know that this wasn't the way it was ever going to go. The bonds we made along the way is what you'll have left now. Cherish them in my memory. Ari, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to get back to you. I've done horrible things you wouldn't have approved of. All in the name of your sake. I couldn't even do that. Maybe they were right. I was being too focused on the past. I should have broken open those walls. This isn't the end of my story yet. But maybe I should let you rest one final time. T-Main watches the explosions got close to them, filling the elevator hallway as he broke down the door in the exit. As the building collapsed one final time, as the public watched in disbelief. The gravity turned back to normal as the light grew dimmer around them. He did it, says T-Main. But can you really celebrate? In the end, it probably is what he wanted. Citizen says, Mr. Titan, what happened to the area? We saw Mr. Artemis run out there as well and Big Apollo on the floor. The girl couldn't have been more than 7. Oh, okay. Looking petrified. T-Main says, we finished our final job today at the cost of everything as a team. Oh, okay. Pause. I didn't realize that was the end of the chapter. That's the end of the chapter. Ladies and gents, rest in peace to Ray. He sacrificed himself for a great cause. I was about to figure out where I was, but apparently, you know, I'm passed out as opposed to this epilogue chapter. But hey, you know what? Ray might have been the whoa, Ray, wow. I'm not gonna say that. Wow, that's me. I'm not. See, I might be cold-hearted, but I'm not mean. Whoa, that's crazy. Hey man, you're a hero, Ray. You're a hero. You basically saved the universe. You know, who knows where this would have been if you know, who knows where it would have been if it wasn't for you, man. Who knows where it would have been. But maybe the universes would have merged, and you know, and V's story would have taken a completely different direction. But you sacrificed yourself, as I got stabbed in like the first phase of that boss fight. So that's what happened. All right, we don't gotta actually say that just because Ray said it. But all right. Wonder what started me to go evil. I don't know, Luna. I don't know. More emotion. Hey, you know, emotions, you know. But emotions, you know, wow. Very intellectual phrases for me. Emotion is emotion. Can't get much more intellectual than that. I'm just saying. You missed your whole backstory. Yeah, there was a chapter where Luna had a there was a couple backstory sections for Luna. Although Luna's been here since the beginning. So I feel like she caught some of that part. Oh, okay. Well, I don't need the I was about to get more water, but I don't need any more. I'll wait till the end. Okay. We are on the epilogue. We have 3 more songs. This first up is Sonic Frontiers final boss theme. Okay, the final boss theme used for the epilogue. Very interesting. Here we go. Oh. Okay. Firesen woke up. Oh, epilogue. Towards the future ahead. Firesen woke up. Gabe was still passed out on the floor of the walls next to the very confused Simon. Is it over, says Firesen? It seems like it is, says Sparky. What's going on, says Simon. Nothing, bud. We're getting out of here, says Escape. Why, says Simon. Because we need to rest, says Escape. Not much. How much can you remember about us? Not much, says Simon. All right, then. We're going to go back home to help you remember, says Escape. Already? Not going to check on the aftermath, says Sparky? The farther away I am for you, the better, says Escape. Escape grabs onto Simon's hand and drops down with him, leaving the wall they're on. Where's Ray and Team A, says Firesen. Sparky says, the last time I checked, they were fighting Luna in the building. But it looks like it collapsed on itself, says Firesen. Jesse walked his way up the walls of the wall stairs and sat down next to the unconscious Gabe. It's over, huh, says Jesse. Seems like it, says Sparky. Team A climbed up the wall and jumped where everyone was now damaged, but clearly fine. Thought I saw you guys up here, says Team A. Where's Ray, says Firesen. I'm sorry, Firesen, says Team A. His final gambit was to destroy the ruby itself, stopping the machine, but blowing up him and Luna in the process. He told me to tell Firesen I'm sorry before telling me to leave. I didn't know him too well, but it seems like you two were close. Firesen had tears in his eyes as Sparky looked down at the area below. Firesen says, Ray, why did you... No, I understand why. You wouldn't want me to cry like this. The only way your sacrifice is worth it is to keep moving on to the future, like you've always said to me. Oh. All right. Oh, that was the epilogue. All right. There it is. And there it is. Cinema. Incredible story. All right, let's get to the credits. Incredible story. Everyone's back together and dealing with the aftermath. All right. The credits are Memories of You, Reload, High Quality Ending, Persona 3. All right. Well, we can see everybody is basically played as themselves. Gabe / GWallPro is me. Jesse is Jesse, Fire Sun is Fire Yoshi, Sparky is Sparky Wolf, Team-Main is Team-Main, Escape is Escape, Ray is Ray SMB, Ari is Ari, Ritz is Ritz Games, Whim is Whimsical, Theo is Theo the Turnip, Luna is Luna V1, and also special shout out to Captain Mudkip, the story written by B. Good stuff. Good stuff. That was a good story. Good story. Great pacing all across the board. Shout out to the ones who showed up a bit too late. Trust me, Hex, we got a lot of talented writers in this community. I'm sure this will not be the last lore that I read. I'm sure there'll be plenty others to come. In addition to other forms of art, of course, that I will showcase on stream when those times come. But all right, let's get to the fun facts. All right, fun facts. Prologue. You can imagine the original book just opened to chapter 1. I felt like we were missing some character stuff, so I added the prologue to help it out. This is inspired by Metal Gear Solid. Thank you. Chapter 1. This chapter is mainly untouched from the original version. The main change is that Simon wasn't there from the start. I honestly kind of prefer the original for this chapter in particular, though. Update: I added Simon back in. This is a revision of a revision of a revision. This is what a year on one book does to a person. Fair enough. The main setting of this world is inspired by Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Okay, understandable. Maybe I could have picked up on that if I played the game, but never did. That's great. Chapter 2. Originally, Gabe had the ruby, and it was stashed in a box of chips. Then I realized how dumb it would be to hide a ruby in a box of chips, and I changed it. So that's why the box of chips was there in that one scene. But I see. It was supposed to be a main plot point, but it ended up getting scrapped. Play the game. Well, play Forgotten Land. Who knows? Maybe at some point I'll pay $80 for the Switch 2 edition with the Star-Crossed World portion. We'll see. We will see. Who knows? Maybe I'll make it a charity goal for the summer if I do that. Anyways, yeah, this chapter's got so many reworks, it's not even funny. Like, this is the third revision the chapter made. This chapter had a Hotel Mario reference for the first and second versions, but it was removed in the third version to make it a bit more serious. Okay. So there was no Hotel Mario reference at all. All right, chapter 3, obligatory Persona reference in the name. This is by far my least favorite chapter, and that's due to the escape subplot during the story. I wanted to give the subplot more substance, but I never found the spot to put it in, and it makes the side plot feel very rough. All right, future me coming in. I rewrote the subplot, so it isn't absolute crap now. Chapter 6 still keeps that title. Okay, originally Fire, Sun, and Sparky were pretty much instantly allies in the original, but I decided to make them villains, even if it was clear it wasn't going to stay for long. You will play Forgotten Land. You will love Forgotten Land. Sure. Yeah, I mean, hey, who knows? $200 for a charity, you know, by one person, if they want to suggest it. Or maybe I'll just make it a charity goal if we cross a certain milestone. We'll see. We'll see what the vibe is. All right, chapter 4. Originally, instead of a bunker, this area was a tower that would get blown up in New York. Yeah, you can guess why that was scrapped. That was probably a smart idea. The name of the chapter is based on Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Shocker. Originally in the original book, the Lunar Force also popped up here in most of them, but Titan. But were written out in that chapter. I didn't like that, so when I rewrote the story, I made sure they were involved later on. Okay, you know what? That was, yeah. I didn't realize until just now. I guess it makes sense. Lunar Force, Lunar, like it's spelled like, you know, the first 4 letters are Luna for Lunar Force. Luna leads the Lunar Force. So that was, you know, it may have taken me all the way until the fun facts to get that, but we got that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's, you know, that was kind of the point of the naming structure. Yes, I named him Sparky Mangues. No, I'm not sorry. I still don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. But at one point, there were lyrics from Full Moon, Full Life, but I can't find that for the life of me, so I'll consider it as a accidental remove it edit. I found it. All right. Chapter 5, do I even have to say the reference here in the name? Fun fact, there's no extended versions of the Work It Out instrumental. That was fun to learn. I had to swap the smoothie flavors between the cats because I got it wrong the first time around. I learned this when I asked what smoothies everyone liked during Jamboree. Oh, interesting. So that was a important tidbit, you know, during our food conversations. Yeah, I mean, you know, if I had to pick one fruit, I guess a strawberry smoothie is good enough, but I do like my mix. I like a mixed berry smoothie. Strawberry banana I like. Blueberry banana is my absolute favorite. But Yeah, just berry smoothies in general, pretty good. Yeah. This was the last chapter that was made for the original version. It was pretty different from this version, with the current chapter's plot being a side plot, with the main plot being Sparky and Ray exploring the prison below the tower. The ending of this chapter would have had the rogue armor take out Ray in the end, but again, I thought that was stupid, so I changed it. So your plan was just to have Ray die regardless. He was going to die earlier in chapter 5, or he was going to get planned to die by the rogue armor, but then you just had him do a self-sacrifice, so... Hey, fair enough, whatever works. Chapter 6, I have nothing to say about this chapter. The name is a reference to Ace Attorney 2, I guess. Cool. Chapter 7 says Apollo's original name was Twister. Why was it changed? I forgot. Another update. After Twister, Apollo's name was Hurricane. Due to the last-minute swapping of characters, his name was changed along with the rest of the Breeze Force. Okay, to fit Luna better over Gallus. Gal at this point. I'm tired, man. Okay, fair. Whatever works. Sparky references an unnamed person in this chapter when yelling at Escape. This was meant to be expanded on, but since it was hard to find a spot for it in the later chapters, I had to scrap it for this book at least. Got it. The Russian text roughly translates to blow it up. I see. Okay. Glad that was answered. I had honestly forgotten about that already, but cool. This is the only time I find Escape's plotline to be somewhat decent is at the end of this chapter. Hey, whatever works. Chapter 8, this is basically what happened in Chapter 5 of the original, albeit toned down. If you can imagine, I had to get very particular with my wording of this chapter, as it worded wrongly could make this chapter kind of uncomfortable to read, which isn't great for a stream setting. Rogue was inspired by the Black Knight from Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, and the Grim Reaper itself. Alright, cool. Chapter 9, Sparky's outfit shift is because of Escape's comment in 7. This is because of character development or something. Is it Luna talking during the opening of the stage play? This play happens directly after what Luna talks about during Chapter 12. This play has the fun bit of referencing a ton of events later on, like the Black Goo near Artemis' death, Apollo getting blindsided while being a fun reference to Mudkip's lore, and Athena being beaten by powering through her shots. Yeah, the chapter with the play was pretty good. Was pretty good, all things considered. Chapter 10 says this was written to give Luna some more depth, as it is not originally in the outline. If you're wondering that this duo seems odd, that's because I had to edit it last minute for reasons I want to get into. Edit. It's been edited again. Man, I'm tired. If it's better though, whatever works. Yeah, I forgot about that was a solid chapter 2. Just going back through the whatchamacallit. Luna's like journal notes or radio notes or video notes, whatever, you guys know. Anyways, chapter 11. This chapter was completely changed between writing sessions and still feels chewed in either way. Mudkip fell asleep during proofreading. Oh god. Oh man. We had to unironically yell at him to wake up for like 10 minutes so he could voice. How late were you keeping Mudkip up for this? Not everybody has the natural instinct to stay awake until like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Maybe you guys, could do your proofreading at maybe 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Like that's late enough at night where it's kind of, where it's still fine. But, I get it. Sometimes you just gotta, it was like 11:30 p.m. Listen, I don't know. I still have no idea what happened in chapter 11. Oh man, I wasn't there for that one. No, I know Fire Yoshi. I see some of you guys like whenever I have some late nights and log back in, I'll see some of you guys still in the voice chat. Whenever you guys use the voice chat, my server. Whether I know you guys have your own stuff as well. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, what is this? Chapter 12. Here we go. All right, the big one. This chapter is 38 pages, making it the second longest chapter of any of the lores, and was the main reason I have songs swaps in the middle of chapters. Understandable. The Fog was an obsession song for me before the The Fog was an obsession song for me before the Undertale 10th anniversary live stream. I did stream Undertale, yeah, unintentionally on its 10th anniversary. Interesting. But it's nice to see more people recognize its peaks. Really was pushing the limits of jokes in this chapter for no reason here. Fair enough. Whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. The crash pad is referencing Fortnite here. I had a feeling I was gonna say something, but I was, again, too just like wired into just continuing to read the chapter that I totally forgot to say something like, oh, Crash Pad, that kind of reminds me of Fortnite. But cool. Fair enough. Teammate's personality is inspired by Junpei from Persona 3. Heck, let's just get all of them out of the way. Okay, let's see how many I can get. Apollo's based on Absolute Bane. Is that like Bane from Batman, or is there a different Bane? I don't know. Athena's based on Power Rangers, Ultraman, and Yukari from Persona 3. Nope, don't know that one. And Artemis died before I could figure out what the hell to do with him. Okay, yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes characters gotta go. I get it. I have never watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I just felt like making fun of JoJo's fans for no reason. Sorry, Lemoncello. Wow, okay. Hey, whatever works. The flamethrower is another reference to Nemesis and his second fight song in the OG Resident Evil 3. Obligatory Metal Gear Rising reference was also shoved into this fight. Yeah, I saw that. I remember that one. Sparky's plan against Rogue is inspired by how Scott cracks Hank's safe in Ant-Man. Oh, okay. Cool. Universe 115 is based on when Book 1 of Story of the All Pros was made. Universe 413 is based on when Ritz made his Discord account. Okay, well, very interesting timelines. Special shout out to Mudkip in this chapter because he was voice acting so hard he actually started tearing up. Now that's dedication. Okay, wait, which character was Mudkip supposed to play? Was Mudkip playing Luna? I mean, okay. Hey, I mean, I think each yeah, there were some tier worthy moments for many of the characters. I get it. Absolute Bane is in the DC KO series. I don't know what KO stands for. Mudkip was playing Luna. Okay, fair enough. Hey, respect Mudkip. Respect the grind. All right. Epilogue. I don't have anything to say about this one. Shame if it ended on a somber note. If only there was a bit we're missing that sets up the next book. And it looks like we do have a bit we're missing. Oh, we got a couple of pages here. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's not spoil anything crazy. All right. This one is more Persona. Mengami Ibun Roku Persona Mikage Police Station. Okay. Absolute Batman. Oh, I see. Interesting. All right, here we go. The case of the missing child. Hey, Ari, have you seen Casey? Ari says, I haven't, but have you checked the break room? No, I haven't. We need to record the lines for the new episode. I'm a bit worried. Well, I think Venice is in the other room, says Ari, talking to a couple of producers with M and Puffy. Something about a new show on the network they want to host. I'll go grab him and see if you can use his mind powers to find them or whatever. All right, thanks, Ari. No problem, Sparky. Ari walked over to the producer's room to get Venice and opened the door. Venice says, I'm just saying, a hedgehog with psychic powers roaming around in a ruined future is a sick idea. Doesn't have to be paralleling past events. Ari says, Venice, can I talk to you for a second? Venice says, sure, I guess. I'll be back. Venice walked out of the room and Ari shut the door behind him. Venice says, all right, this better be good. That's psychic representatives in there, and I need my autism hedgehog to get something here. Okay. Ari says, yeah, one of the kids is missing, and I was wondering if you could use your mind powers to locate them. Venice says, that's the second time someone's asked me to do that, and the answer is the same. No. Vietnam farmer, oh, here we go. We're getting a lot of characters in here. Says, what are you guys talking about? Venice says, Ari thinks I can just mind power my way into finding people. Vietnam farmer says, well, can you? Venice says, no. Vietnam farmer says, damn, let me try it. Jack, okay, Jack's here as well. Jack says, Vin, are you supposed to be in there? Aren't you supposed to be studying astrology, says Venice. No, that's a hobby. You're trying to get a show made, says Jack. Venice says, well, what's happened is that these goofballs have tried to see if I can track their little child actor with my mind. Well, can you, says Jack? No, says Venice. Vietnam farmer says, well, we're sure about to find out. Let's see this baby in action as I use my hand to move this box with my mind. VF raises his arms and accidentally hits Ari. He then tries to concentrate his mind on the box. Ari says, I'm not even gonna apologize? Rude. He says, VF says, oh, sorry. Wait, I accidentally hit Ari's hand. A portal opens up with a raging war as it starts pulling everyone in. VF says, Ari, is this normal? Ari says, this is an anomaly, even by my standards. Venice says, I can't hold you guys for much longer. Jack says, it seems like we're going in. All four of them get sucked into the portal. As it closes, Puffy leaves the conference room. Vin, where did they go? Huh, well, I guess the news of us getting the show approved will have to wait. Kind of odd about all the screaming, though. The four scream as the portal opens up, and Ari, Jack, and VF fall to the floor as Venice gracefully levitates to his feet. Couldn't do that for the rest of us? No, I was too focused on trying to survive, says Venice. Jerk, says Ari. Venice says, hey, I wasn't the one responsible for opening the portal. That honor goes to VF. Jack says, he can't do that. He only copies skills, I think. Where are we anyways? The group look around to see a walled-off city center with repair signs where they appear to be facing some sort of alleyway. VFC seems to be some version of New York, but walled off and a bit luscious. Venice says, that's fine. Ari can just take us home, right? Ari says, I need to be able to concentrate, so it will take me a bit. Ari attempts to concentrate as a shadow-like figure appears out of the alleyway, made of some sort of black goo. Jack says, a shadow? I thought they should have all been destroyed with a paradoxical enigma. Venice says, doesn't matter. Portal making will have to wait for now. Gang, it's cleanup time. The shadow turned its head and almost seemed to grin with its big, goopy mouth. It's grinning at us, particularly me. Should I be scared, says Ari? We'll be fine, says VF. They're a threat, but there's four of us and one of them, says VF. Jack says, easy to say when you have powers and we can't do anything offensively. Ari says, doesn't matter. Let's finish what we started. Everyone says, right. To be continued. Artwork showcase. We have teasers. Yeah, that was crazy. I based on, because this is, for those of you that hasn't seen Mudkip's lores, this is Mudkip text. Like, this is how Mudkip writes his lores. You got a lot more text on each page. It's a bit smaller, but the text is all bold. And Ari has portal powers in Mudkip's story. VF is a recurring character, and Jack are recurring characters. I would just say y'all got to fix up the Venice character. That y'all got to find one consistent spelling for Venice, whether it's Venice, Vinice, or Venice. Y'all got to find a common ground on how on what this character's name is. But besides that, I'm interested to see what happens. It looks like Mudkip in V's lore are gonna have some sort of combination. So this will be interesting. So yeah, we'll see what happens, how the next one goes. Have a go on, Hex. Appreciate you coming through. Original game teaser. Okay, love to see it. Is that me? What am I grabbing there? Am I like diving for a football? Like, what the heck is going on? Or no, wait, that's the red ruby. Duh, it's a teaser for the book. It just kind of low-key looked like a football, but I get it. Ruby. Cool. All right. This bad-looking Sparky, chapters 8 through 12 design that looks too much like Adachi and is not his final design artwork. Hey, fair enough. Sometimes you gotta get the artwork working. Looks pretty solid. Sparky rocking that green jacket with the orange kit. He got bright green eyes and that smoky white hair in a way. Cool. I'll be breathing down V's neck every time he writes a line with one of my characters. Oh, sure. Okay. Makes sense, Mudkip. I get it. Luna teaser. Ooh, okay. I can't even tell. Like, supposed to be like a dragon of some sort of way. Like, almost can't even. Or is it like her merging with like the mechanical being? But like the colors look dangerous. They look very dangerous. But it looks good. Very ominous. You can tell that Luna was, with this image, you can assume that Luna would be the main threat, the main villain. Original design of Artemis, originally named Tornado, with the letter B on his helmet. Doesn't work for Artemis or Tornado in terms of the lettering, but maybe the B is for something else. Maybe it's for the Lunar Force or whatever the name before, maybe the previous name or something like that. But hey, I like it. Okay. So they were kind of like masked henchmen in a way. I see. I'm starting to get the vision now. Updated game design. Okay. Look at this. Yeah, I came through. I got the jacket as always, the headband. Slightly long. My hair's not that long anymore, but it was that long at one point. Appreciate the blue eyes, the Wall of Power logo with with some of this stuff going on. Yeah, cool. Ray design. That's right. V posted some of these in the Discord server. So we got Ray coming through. Rest in peace, Ray. Appreciate the sacrifice for saving all of humanity. Sparky's chapter 7 prologue design. Man's looking fresh as always with the black sunglasses and all that stuff cooking. So yeah, love to see that. And the Fire Sun, aka Fire Yoshi design, shamelessly stolen from Sparky, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a good design anyway. Looks kind of fresh. The hammer, he's got Thor's hammer, so there's that as well. And more Luna and Rogue teasers. Okay. Do you know Ray? Very dark. Very dark. There's Virgil DMC. Yeah, right. Oh, and there a ton more Luna art. Okay, we got an extra art piece of Luna. Okay, okay. Maybe this is like backstory in Luna. You know, back when she had feelings and emotions. You know, like myself. But yeah, I like the full art. Looks fresh. The close-up too looks pretty good. You can see like her eyes are like the only things left that kind of have feeling, which is a vibe. More Luna. Today I'm gonna turn someone into a who? A rapper? Luna? Like a okay, sure. Luna probably. Base Luna before armor. I see. Oh, and another close-up of Luna. Okay, multiple drawings. I mean, hey, you got the drawing of the main villain down. It's a vibe. Looks right. Oh my goodness. And that is probably Luna when she turns to the dark side. Thank you for reading Wall of Power. And that is the last page of our document. All right. There we go. There we go. Luna, how do you feel? You were the main villain in this entire story. And you know, you almost merged, you know, multiple dimensions together. But yeah, now it's but now your plan was foiled. That's how V wrote you. But regardless, V, really good story. I like this one a lot. This was a fun one. This is a good one to get through. Yeah, I mean, I caught the dark, of course, undertones quite a bit. I'm curious to see if any of that carries over until the you know, into, I guess now you and Mudkip are gonna collaborate on a future book. Because I mean, you know, I guess, you know, Mudkip, like he said, he finished the trilogy of his own lore, so you know, he's going on to greater endeavors. Mudkip maybe helping to collaborate and you know, use his characters in other ways, and maybe having a, you know, having like a Jimmy Timmy Power Hour type of situation. You know what I'm talking about? Like Jimmy Neutron, Timmy Turner, like, you know, coming through. I don't know why that came into my mind, but you know, kind of having like that sort of like collaboration. So maybe there will be two Gabes in the next story. Maybe Mudkip's version of me, and then V's version of me might come, you know, might collide, and then we're really in. Then we'll have the Spider-Man pointing meme going on like that. Then, you know, who knows what'll happen? I'm just saying. You know, could be crazy. Could be crazy. But then again, maybe I forgot. Maybe my character died at the end of Mudkip's story. I honestly forgot how it ended. So maybe that's not possible if my character is no longer there. I know. I think GWallPro's gone. The GWallPro, GWallPro, he's gone. But like standard game might still be around in Mudkip's lore. So, oh, it's gonna be V writing with having. Oh, so Mudkip has given his license. Of the characters has allowed V to use the rights of Mudkip's characters to write the story with. Mudkip's just gonna be like the executive, just kind of like, you know, overshadowing and overseeing the project, making sure his IPs don't get tarnished. Okay, I respect it. Oh man, that's funny. All right, we'll pause. I forgot the music was still playing. I honestly couldn't even hear it. But all right. Oh, let's switch here. Woo! Ladies and gents, what a time. What a time. So thank you guys. That's basically all I got for you guys today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And I apologize that this is a relatively, I guess, like shorter Saturday stream, but you know, it was what, you know, it's all I was able to get through to today. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Mudkip about a copyright QB and Q-Bop. I know, right? Insanity. So yeah, feel free, let V know how you enjoyed his story. It was pretty darn solid. Again, incredible pacing. I liked going through it. The 12 chapters were each particularly well, and it seemed like they all fit for a main reason, which was pretty solid. So had a incredible twist that that again, I apologize for just kind of breezing by and having zero reaction to, but you know, I mean, we made it through one way or another. So yeah, with that being said, I appreciate you guys for coming through. I will see you guys on Monday with a I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'll come up with a stream schedule if I have time to come up with one. Tomorrow might be busy for me, so we'll see. If probably expect a stream schedule maybe like, you know, on Monday as I usually post it. So We'll see what happens. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching and have a fantastic rest of your night, fantastic rest of your weekend. I'll see you guys real soon. Stay all pro, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out of here. Have a great night. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.